Rose Bowl, baby. Rose Bowl champions. Oh, man. Oh. This is going to be a crazy podcast. Not only is my college football team in the college football final, I am sick as a dog. I currently have a horrible fever, and I'm coughing every 3 minutes, it feels like. So, apologies, but this was amazing. This was one of the best college football games, regardless if my Michigan Wolverines won or not. This is one of the best college football games I've ever watched. This shit was fucking phenomenal. I'm going to rant on this before the other guys come in because they're all going to flame me for it. But at the same time, like, so many good plays. Excellence offensively and defensively. Key plays made on every side. I mean, the game went to overtime. It was ended in the first overtime. You have guys that legitimately could have won the Heisman on both sides. Jalen Milroe, Blake Corum, even if some people would say J.J. McCarthy. And then it comes down to the wire. Like, touchdown here by Roman Wilson ties the game. Even Michigan's special teams was playing horrible. Ugh. I mean, I cannot tell you how I was the entire time. But watching this at home with family was incredible. And this run. Oh my God.
Blake Corum is him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good field vision.
Yeah. You keep saying we're gonna get on you for this game after bringing it in. I watched this game. It was good.
Until
It was
really
a
good.
good game.
This play call.
Perfect stuff right there. Perfect.
Alright, so enough of the jerking off to Michigan.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
There we go. All right.
Snap back to reality.
Up there goes gravity.
Welcome to the Football Stooges, the dumbest way to cover football unimaginable. I'm your host, Michigan fan Lob City. It's been a crazy week. I apologize for my condition. I am very sick with a upper respiratory issue, so I sound horrible and coughing a lot. So this is going to be a wild ride. With me today, right-hand man back for the first podcast he ever missed. It's the one and only Mastodon.
Fucking Eagles.
Why are we
See?
still here?
Yep.
Just to suffer.
Just because he missed one episode and the Eagles lost to Arizona.
And not just any Arizona, one coached by Jonathan Gannon.
Lenny, yeah.
Yeah, that hurts.
At least
Speaking-
Virginia Tech won. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of it hurts, Bears fan Mamba.
Hey, we won. Falcons aren't going to go to the playoffs. Most
Neither are
likely.
you.
They can still.
I mean,
they
we
can
won.
still.
But
No, they can still make it playoffs. It's the 3-team: Falcons, San Bay, Saints. They're all
they're
tied.
not going to make it in.
And
They
you're
can.
eliminated, Mamba. Bears are
Uh,
eliminated.
Well, first round pick.
Yeah, we got a first round pick.
One to
Shout out
tank
First
to us.
overall, not first round, first
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah. So,
And last but not least, someone who's going to be in a lot of pain today, K-Duff.
Dead man walking.
Yeah, if you don't
I'm
know,
so sorry, Tito.
we'll talk about it right now as we get into it. The fantasy thing is the first thing we usually get into, and the excuse me, Football Stooges Fantasy Football League concluded this week. I lost to Muzzy, so shout out to him. He'll be coming out with the final This Week in Fantasy video next week. So it'll be a great
boy,
wrap
it's
up.
going to be a good one.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
He asked for an extra
Boy.
week on it because you can't rush art. Totally felt going on with that. So he finished
Exactly.
first in the league. I finished second with 8-7. He was 9-6. Then Mamba catapulted away to third. He finishes at third place with a losing record of 7-8.
I was last. I was in last place for like
for a long
good
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very low.
Gorlami finishes in fourth at 9-6. Then Everything Hurts. Masson is 6-9. And at the very bottom, losing the final game of the season, K-Duff, 6-9, aptly named Fuck This Season.
Because fuck this season. Yeah, it's been a fucking train wreck for me. He has more than I thought it would be. Just not very lucky with how some of my picks turned out, how some of my players played this year. Even in spite of having guys like Tua, Henry, and Brees Hall on the roster. Like,
and also Belichick getting plowed like a train.
I also can't draft coaches, so that was a non-factor for
Yeah.
fantasy. But as we're alluding to about why I'm a dead man walking, if you saw my post on TikTok about this, there's 5 shots in front of me. Well, 5 shots, 4 shots, one big one because my liquor store only had one size. The loser of this inaugural Football Stooges fantasy football season has to have a drink, a mixed cocktail of all of the ingredients chosen by the guys that came ahead of him. So the first liquor of choice comes to our champion, who's not even on this fucking podcast most of the time, Muzzy, who chose Screwball peanut butter whiskey.
Oh my god.
A staple.
Yep, staple. Next up, second, Lob City. You chose Rum Chata, which I'll be honest, could actually pair pretty well with this. Oh god, why does it do that?
I should have gone wild. I should have said something like.
Well, here's something
Guinness.
that Mamba probably
Guinness.
the most wild one has to be what Gorlami originally chose, but we'll get to that. But first off, before we get to him, third place, of course, Mamba, you gave me one of my worst fucking liquors I've ever had. I had a really bad experience at a college party with this once. Fireball.
Have you lived if you haven't had a bad experience with Fireball, though? Like, for real.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Anyway, fourth place, Gorlami. He originally chose Chicago's favorite liquor in Malort. I have never heard of Malort beforehand, so I had
tastes
to.
like gasoline, bro.
Well, that's the punchline. I literally looked up what type of alcohol it was, and I got varying answers ranging from old gas to skunk piss.
Yeah.
So his backup was Absolute Lime, which honestly he went easy on that. I'm a vodka man.
Really, that is really good in mules. If you ever want to make a mule and you love the lime flavor in mules, that's a good one.
And finally, the guy who I jinxed myself in thinking that he was going to be the one to drink this shit, Mastodon. You're giving me 50 proof wild turkey bourbon.
Ooh. Wild turkey, nice.
My sister-in-law's father would drink it straight out of a bottle.
Oh, is that all mixed? All right, hold on. Let's go to the corner. Let's go to the corner here. I just realized I have to fucking fix this shit. I have to fix this shit.
No. You're supposed to be my corner, but fuck you.
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, zoom in real close for my execution shot here.
Right.
Prisoner would not like to be blindfolded.
Dude, I'm so sorry, dude.
I do have a bag to throw up in case because I feel like I'm gonna need it.
Because this is 5 shots of alcohol in one drink, right?
It is.
I've done the math. This is about 2.5 drinks worth of alcohol if I went 25. If I went for like 25 milliliters each, which I'm fairly certain I did.
All right, and you are a bartender, so you did make the.
I work in
mixes.
a bar.
Yeah, you work in a bar, so you know the mixes. All right, bottoms up. You suck at fantasy football. Oh, that drink looks like a macchiato.
That's a baby
It looks
shot.
like
That
piss.
look
It does look like skunk piss.
That is not skunk.
Anyway.
Oh god.
We might have just made Malort, guys.
You might.
All right.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
Okay.
Oh god.
Final words. Fuck you all.
I'm so sorry, dude.
Oh.
Oh god, it goes bad.
Oh man.
Oh, it burns. It fucking burns. Oh god.
Drink some water.
I have a chaser near me. Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, drink it.
Oh god.
Oh, that was
all
fucking
right. So
there's still stuff stuck to the glass. What is that?
Probably the rum chata. Probably the rum chata.
The rum chata.
Goes to Malort.
Oh god.
Okay,
we
so
literally just made Malort, guys.
I think we did.
Give us the flavor tones of that. What was your
burning, disgustingness, probably 3-day-old milk that's been sitting out on the counter.
Leather.
A bit of spice. Not leather, actually. I don't know what the hell the other taste is, but it's probably the peanut. I've never had peanut butter whiskey. That's probably it. Ugh.
I probably just stays and lingers. I think I tried that one time. It was like the peanut butter. It lingered in my mouth.
Big Mom is playing Whole Fast Nations at War. Just popped up on the screen.
I'm just testing something real quick. Don't worry about me.
But yeah.
Servers.
Yeah.
Just cap these so I don't suddenly start flailing and throw liquor all over my desk.
Oh boy, that must feel good. That must feel real good.
Oh yeah, feels great. My liver's thanking me for it.
Alrighty. So yeah, that wraps up fantasy for us. Good season for all of us. I think that also we'll continue the league on to weeks after or years after this, obviously. So I think we'll also determine draft order. So Caleb will have the first pick next year.
You're damn right. I'm gonna have to after that.
Oh yeah. You'll pull a Belichick and you'll somehow find out how to draft Cole Strange into fantasy football. So yeah, I am happy though. My family, my extended family on my mother's side actually had a fantasy football league that me and my wife entered in as one team, and we actually ended up winning it. It
congrats.
was a 10 team league, and people that I got on my roster: Brock Purdy, Brees Hall. I picked up Gibbs out of free agency when somebody dropped him early in the year. Debo Samuel, Nico
Who the
Collins.
fuck dropped him?
They dropped him like week 2 when he wasn't being played.
Oh, that.
Remember Gibbs? Gibbs wasn't being played.
I
Gibbs
know,
was for
I
like
know,
5 weeks.
Oh my God,
That's
damn,
actually
you could
really
have kept on a
funny.
bench or something.
I had T.J. Hawkinson, then he got hurt, so I pulled
that's kind of
Taysom.
painful.
So I got Taysom Hill, and he went off the last week, so that was good.
What the fuck is a Taysom Hill?
Raquan White, Jake Moody was my wife's pick, actually. She knocked it out of the park there, one of the better kickers in the league, top half there. Browns defense, A.J. Dillon, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, and I also had the Eagles defense for a while before I dropped them because they were horrible. So yeah, I actually ended up winning, and the funny thing is, I was at my parents for New Year's, and I was playing them in the final. So that was kind of funny. We were watching football and both like screaming at it. It was pretty fun. But yeah, enough fantasy football. Let's talk about real football real quick. We'll get started. Excuse me, with the crossover grid, and then we'll go on from there to KDF News.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a minute.
Yeah. All right.
Mitch
Trubisky.
Fields.
Mitch
Justin
Trubisky.
Fields. Oh, yeah.
Justin Fields.
No
First
smile
round.
on Mamba. I think he's frozen actually.
Tyler Murray.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you're not even moving.
kinda.
Yeah, turn your. Oh, there, your camera just worked for a second.
Emmanuel Forbes for because I can't think of other ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was
Well, he's their first round pick this year. Oh, he didn't.
Nope.
No.
There
we go.
wasn't
Weird. In case,
no,
he got traded a first rounder.
he got traded to Chicago. No, not him. He got traded to San Fran.
Chase Young.
Chase
Young, of course.
yeah.
Second overall pick. How did we forget about him? There we go.
You're rushing touchdowns in a game.
Right.
Sweetness.
Well, of course.
3 rushing touchdowns in a
touchdown.
game.
Did James Conner do it?
Ooh, I think he did once.
Well,
yeah,
of course, Emmitt Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
3
Oh.
rushing touchdowns.
Oh,
John Riggins. Yeah.
Toot, toot.
Okay,
One of my
100 receptions
favorite.
for- touchdown.
Peanut Tillman on the left.
Tillman. Yeah.
What was his name?
Pat
his
or
first name?
Pete?
I was on
Tillman.
Peanuts, so I don't know.
Not 2001.
Pat Not Pat Tillman. That's the dude who got shot by his own guys in Afghanistan.
No, not Cedric.
Charles Tillman.
Charles
2008.
Charles
Yeah.
Tillman.
Yeah.
There
All
it is.
right.
Okay. Buda Baker.
Ooh.
I just had to have a pick 6 at one point.
Really?
Nope.
Nope.
Huh.
Interesting.
I'm about to say Sean
Deion
Taylor.
Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he did play for Washington.
Did play in a
What about-
small stint there.
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of Cardinals.
Yeah.
Did JJ Watt ever do it when he was with them that one year?
Actually, try that. Yeah, JJ Watt. Yep.
Hey.
No, but I mean,
That was actually really
JJ
easy.
Watt had.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on the Cardinals. So it's one
Right.
interception return for a touchdown and was a
That
Cardinal.
played for.
So yeah.
Wonder who was the most picked in general. I guess.
Doesn't show. All right.
Huh.
There we go.
Okay.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move it right into KDF News.
That was a really quick grid compared to 2 weeks ago.
It was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Last week was rough.
On the speed run, baby.
All right, let's see if I can get through this without throwing up all that shit I just drank. All right, so we're going to start out with
I'm
injuries,
sorry.
and there's going to be, I mean, you were actually easy on me. Bourbon was actually one of my first liquors I ever drank, so that wasn't too bad. It was the rest I was mixing with that sucked. Don't try that at home, kids, by the way. If any kids are watching this, I doubt they are. But anyway. Fuck you. Anyway, we're going on to injuries, and a lot of these guys are going to be out for the year, mainly because their year's already ended, they're already eliminated and such. So we're going through, but a lot of these guys are going to be big losses to teams that already made the dance. Starting out, obviously, probably one of the biggest of the week so far. Dolphins linebacker Bradley Chubb tore his ACL, so he's done for the year.
Horrible video if
same
you
age-
haven't seen it. He was screaming
Yeah,
and
it
the
was
TV
bad.
could hear it. It's
Oh
not good.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Let's see. You got Cardinals left tackle DJ Humphries also tore his ACL. Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson is going to be out for their season finale with a high ankle sprain. Jaguars wide receiver Jamal Agnew, if the Jaguars still somehow barely limp into the playoffs, he's not going to be with them after he suffered a leg fracture. Packers cornerback Eric Stokes is going to be out with a hamstring injury. Saints defensive tackle Ryan Ramczyk and wide receiver Michael Thomas both out with knee injuries. Cowboys guard Tyler Smith apparently tore his plantar fascia, so he's going to be done.
Fuck is that?
It's part of your foot.
Was that their guard or was that Tyron Smith, their left tackle?
Guard Tyler Smith.
Mm.
Yeah. And Seahawks safety Jamal Adams also dealing with a pretty long-term knee injury. Other guys that will be at least out this week, 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey, he's got a calf strain.
He was not going to play anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They were probably going to rest him regardless. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson, he's still in concussion protocol, so Trevor Siemian's going to be starting for the Jets season finale. Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard, he's got a minor foot injury, as does Titans quarterback Will Levis. I mean, they're already out of the thing, so he's not going to be in. Probably Tannehill or Malik Willis. Questionables as we also go into the week. Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert dealing with both an ankle and a knee injury. Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton expected to play after he missed last week with a knee injury. Texans defensive end Will Anderson Jr. has got an ankle injury. Colts guard Quentin Nelson also with an ankle injury. Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith also ankle injury.
Fuck.
Yep.
Ankles.
A lot of ankles getting fucked up this week. Buccaneers offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs has got a shoulder injury that he's been dealing with. Bills quarterback Josh Allen apparently suffered a neck stinger injury, the same kind Brock Purdy had in their last series with the Patriots last week, so he's questionable. As is Commanders quarterback Jacoby Brissett, who's in concussion protocol as well. Going on to signings, trades, and releases, probably the big news that's still lingering this week. The Broncos are rumored to be cutting quarterback Russell Wilson after benching him for the remainder of the season in favor of backup Jared Stidham. I think we might have reported on that
That's
last
crazy.
week.
Yeah, we did.
It really is.
I mean, they're doing that in favor of $37 million, but...
If I had a nickel for how many times Jared Stidham started over a guy that the team he was playing for cut their usual starting quarterback and like the season after, in the offseason after, I'd have two nickels, which is weird which is in the lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It's weird, but it happened twice.
Yeah, because the exact same thing happened when he was a Raider. He was brought in to relieve Derek Carr, and then they got rid of him, and then he was traded and then Stidham was traded to the Broncos.
That fucking dead.
So that's just a weird. That's just a weird thing, and it's also worse for the Broncos too, because whether he's cut or if they trade him, the Broncos are facing up a dead cap total up to $85 million.
Oof.
That is the most in NFL history, ahead of both the Falcons and Packers, who both are tied at $40 million after they moved on from Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, respectively, which is insane. It's going to cost them a lot in the long run. Other stuff that is going on. The Jets are also making an interesting roster change. They've placed a running back Dalvin Cook on waivers.
Yeah, so he got picked up today,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, did he? I might have missed the
Yes,
news.
Dalvin Cook was
Ravens.
put on waivers and then was picked up because he didn't re-sign with the Jets. He was picked up by the Ravens.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I mean, no,
Yeah.
not really.
I mean-
because that running back room is now 3 deep, and the second he gets on the field, you know it's going to be a scat route.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Uh,
one of those running backs probably going to get hurt this week.
Oh,
True.
yeah, true.
Yeah. Other stuff, the Jets also released guard Roger Saffold. He was immediately picked up by the Browns on waivers. And the Cowboys are releasing linebacker Rashawn Evans after he was arrested in Frisco, Texas this week for drug possession. Finally, going on to news this week, the clinches, of course, are the Cleveland Browns on the back of a revitalized Joe Flacco. The Chiefs have finally clinched their AFC West division. I think they're coming in as the 3 seed for the AFC. And the Rams also clinched a playoff berth in the AFC West. Or I think that's a wild card berth, excuse me, because Niners got the West locked up.
Yep.
Eliminations, Mambas, Chicago Bears, Lobs, Cincinnati Bengals, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Denver Broncos country, let's die. Other news, we've got probably the biggest that was going into the week because of that fucking Lions-Cowboys game that we'll be getting into shortly. So we're gonna dip into that briefly. The referee in question, Brad Allen and his crew, made yet another major decision that screwed over a team with an illegal touching call that negated a successful 2-point conversion. Which the game was a 2-point conversion. Left tackle Taylor Decker reported as eligible. The backup Dan Skipper did not. They played it. Taylor Decker even is shown on replay talking to Brad Allen for the game before they do the play, saying that I'm reporting, only for it to be called back, and Allen to double down on his stance after the game, even though it is very clear that the dude fucking reported. He's not just going over there. He and Skipper aren't just going over there to talk to him just for the fuck of it. Yeah. And this isn't even the first time that Brad Allen's even fucked over the Lions. I've actually done some backtrack on that. Some notable fuck-ups he's had, not just this season, but even in past seasons. Week 13, Chiefs versus Packers. He was the crew that did not call pass interference that benefited the Packers in their win over the Chiefs. Week 7, Falcons versus Saints. No call on pass interference where Alvin Kamara got hit long before he caught a pass by Atlanta linebacker Caden Ellis. Going all the way back to Week 18 of 2022, Rams versus Seahawks, there were multiple controversial calls in Seattle's favor that secured the Seahawks the 7th seed. You know who else was in contention for the 7th seed that game? The Detroit Lions. And it's actually become apparent that he is also part of one of the worst calls of the 2010s. The 2019 NFC Championship Rams versus Saints game.
Oh my God.
The no call on cornerback nickel Robbie Coleman for pass interference on the infamous Nola no call. And knowing that history, knowing how this game ended up, Allen and his team have luckily been downgraded. They're still going to be reffing the Steelers game this week, but you will not be seeing him fucking up the playoff games this week. That'll be a different team. Let's see. Other stuff. The Bears...
Only the NFL just saying, whoopsie, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything to fix it.
Yeah. So what did we learn for this game? A, the Lions got hosed. B, Mike McCarthy and his shit play calling got lucky. C, I wouldn't trust Brad Allen to ref my kid's Pop Warner game. Or D, all of the above.
All of the above. Definitely.
Exactly. Anyway, getting off that news, this is going to be unwelcome news from Mamba because the Bears confirmed that head coach Matt Eberflus is going to be returning next year. Another team that's going to be looking for a new head coach, the Raiders. Multiple Raiders players, including wide receiver Devontae Adams, are petitioning and advocating for owner Mark Davis to make interim head coach Antonio Pierce their permanent head coach going forward.
Yeah, he's good.
He's very good.
Very good.
Yeah,
it would be a very good decision. Which he's probably going to pull another Rich Versace and not do something else and hire somebody even worse.
Well, from an owner standpoint, it makes sense because you're not going to have to pay him a ton. This is his first NFL head coaching job. You are not going to have to pay him Belichick money.
Yeah, exactly. You got Panthers owner David Tepper has actually been under fire this week. He was fined $300,000 after deliberately pouring the drink over the head of a Jaguars fan from his luxury box.
Oh, that's
the most expensive drink ever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna read his apology verbatim here. I am deeply passionate about this team and regret my behavior on Sunday. I should have let the NFL stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior. Now, I don't know if you guys caught that, but there's something missing from that apology. An apology. Like, dude, just say you're sorry. Take the fucking...
Can you read it real quick again? One more time?
Yeah. I am deeply passionate about this team. And
yeah, you were David Tepper. You were not deeply passionate about that team.
You were definitely not.
No.
You were not.
Yeah. Also, before I was cut off by the buzzer or the first time, I don't know if you caught it, but there's something missing from that apology. An actual apology.
Yeah.
Didn't say sorry at least once, dude. Like you could argue that you regret your behavior, but you still got to apologize. Not saying like I'm here to apologize.
I mean,
I'm here to apologize.
I'm here to be.
Isn't an apology?
Is he the worst owner in the NFL now that Snyder's gone?
At first, I thought going to see, I thought it was going to be Jim Irsay because of the whole Jonathan Taylor situation, but I would say so. Yeah.
Well, Irsay's up there, but also Irsay wants to win, so he does sacrifice a lot to get those wins. Tepper is just
and the way Tepper's meddled with his team so far and put them in this position, especially with meddling to get his way to get Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. it's definitely not a good look for him. I would argue
would
he actually is probably one of the best and the worst in the
I would say
league
the
right now.
only other candidates I could think of is Bidwell from Arizona.
Spanos from the Chargers. That's another one.
Yep. Maybe the Texans own it right now, depending on what's gonna happen in future. I guess because I'm thinking it's on the past seasons.
Well,
too.
the old McNair that passed away in like 2016, 2017, I would say yes, but the new one it's not been bad. It's mostly just been Bill O'Brien's fault with whatever the hell's going on in Houston. Mike Brown, yeah, I can say that.
Yeah. No, I mean, he got a GM and, Duke Tobin, so.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we could debate that all day. The other news, we got Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. He and his family are confirmed okay after a pretty severe fire burned up his home on the Florida Everglades this week. Apparently, the cause of fire was a kid playing with a cigarette lighter. The classic way.
That's the most Floridan shit.
It's up there.
No, that sounds normal just in general.
No, that's normal for Florida.
Let's see. Another wide receiver, Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. He broke Dallas's record for most receiving yards by a Cowboy in a season. The record was held by Michael Irvin originally. CeeDee had 1,651 yards in 122 catches this year. Irving, his record was 1,603 within 111 catches in 1995. So you've got it. So he's been having a hell of a year. Good for you, CD. Not good for you, Colts tight end Drew Ogletree. He has been placed on the commissioner's exempt list after he was arrested over the weekend on domestic violence charges. And
always got some.
Finally, you've got. I mean, it's a huge list, so I'm not going to go super into it. But multiple teams are sitting starters after clinching their playoff part. Or so that will see a lot of new backup quarterbacks, probably the most in a single season starting this year. Included are the Chiefs who will be starting Blaine Gabbert over Patrick Mahomes. The Ravens are starting Tyler Huntley over Lamar Jackson. The Rams, they're starting Carson Wentz over Matthew Stafford. The Browns are going to start probably their like fifth or sixth new starting quarterback this year, Jeff Driscoll over Joe Flacco. And the 49ers are starting the mono man Sam Darnold over Brock Purdy.
Wait,
and that's all I got.
Well, yeah, because that makes sense.
They got the number one seed no matter what.
Yeah, Thank you, K-Duff, for that news report amidst your stomach wanting to kill itself. All right.
It's not too bad. And what the hell is this?
Are we really going to go over all the balls?
No, we're just gonna like look at the scores. These every bowl game is finished except for the national championship and the East-West Bowl. So we'll excuse me. Take a quick look at them. Myrtle Beach Bowl, Ohio beat Georgia Southern. Cricket Celebration, Florida A&M beat Howard. RNL carries New Orleans Bowl. Jacksonville State beat Louisiana. Good win for Jacksonville State there.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Especially how the season went.
Yeah. Avocados from Mexico. Some of these names. App State beat Miami of Ohio.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Avocados from Mexico.
Let's let a New Mexico Bowl. Fresno State beat New Mexico State. The Starco Brands LA Bowl hosted by Gronk.
My boy.
UCLA beat Boise State. UCLA fell a lot. They were ranked multiple times this season and now are playing Boise State in that bowl. And if your bowl has more than five words in it, yikes. The Ratings Technologies Independence Bowl. I guess it's only 4 words, but Texas Tech beat Cal.
Kicked Cal's ass.
Yeah. Famous Toastery Bowl. Old Dominion lost to Western Kentucky by 3. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. UTSA beat Marshall. Roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl.
What the fuck?
Syracuse. The
shut out by South Florida.
Yes, that's South Florida. Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. UCF lost to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's looking a lot better, especially this year. They obviously didn't beat Georgia, but they looked pretty good.
They don't have Paul Break Your Knees Johnson there anymore.
Yeah.
Fucking cut block pieces of shit.
The 76 Birmingham Bowl, Duke beat Troy in a close one by 7. The Camilla Bowl, Arkansas State, Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois won that by 2. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Now that's fucking cool. And of course, Air Force was in it, and of course they won by 10 against James Madison. Rough ending for their season. Air Force did have a great.
it's-
This is one of the best seasons in Air Force
At least
history.
they got
honestly.
a bowl
Of
game. At
course,
least
it's
they.
sponsored by
This is
Lockheed
one of their
Martin.
better seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much that bowl probably had in money. If you got Lockheed Martin money, man, like.
Well, especially if the Air Force in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Kind of
the
fuck Lucky Martin for work at times. No, fuck Bill actually.
one of the best kind of unknown bowls, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Georgia State beat Utah State by 23. 68 Ventures Bowl. The South Alabama beat Eastern Michigan. Big fight at the end of that.
Sure, they beat them 59 to
Yeah, I
10.
heard
If you haven't
about
seen, if you haven't seen the video, South Alabama was celebrating after the game. Eastern Michigan player came late as they were like sitting with the band, celebrating the fans that made the journey there to Mobile, Alabama. It's not really that far from South Alabama's campus, but at the same time they were celebrating. Eastern Michigan player clocked unhelmeted South Alabama player in the back of the head, and had just a brawl ensued.
That
He's a
sounds
sore
like
loser.
something that happens in Eastern Michigan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Excuse me. The SRS distribution, Las Vegas Bowl, Utah and Northwestern, close game there, 14-7. Easy Point Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina
Honolulu.
lost to San Jose, and yes, in beautiful Honolulu.
No, they
The-
beat
No, Coastal Carolina beat San Jose State.
Sorry, the other way around. Yes, Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green lost to Minnesota by 6. Minnesota, that's a MAC team, dude. Calm the fuck on. The Surf First Responder Bowl, Texas State beat
Actually-
Rice.
Nothing going.
The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, 49-36 final score, Kansas beating UNLV. The Military Bowl presented by GoBowling.com. Virginia Tech beat Tulane.
almost 400 yards of rushing for Virginia Tech. Kyron
Very well done,
Drones
yeah.
and Tootin went fucking off.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl, a great game that you don't want to win because if you
I
win,
really
the
love
head
that
coach is
Did Will,
dunks
was Will,
and mayonnaise.
that was the guest referee for it?
I wanted
Yeah.
both teams to lose.
Was
I
Will
wanted
Levis
UNC and I wanted UNC and West Virginia to lose.
You got it. I mean, well, it's Duke's Mayo. It's not Hellman's, so Hellman's is his sponsor. So.
No.
Wow.
But no,
Still
no.
Mayo,
I hate,
man.
I hate West Virginia University and I hate UNC.
Yeah, so 30-10, the final score. West Virginia gets the win there. The DirecTV Holiday Bowl, USC trounced Louisville. The
Bet
Tax
it
at
wasn't on
Texas.
DirecTV.
Yeah, the Tax at Texas Bowl. Texas A&M lost to Oklahoma State. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Boston College
spicy.
beat SMU. The
Good
Bad
for them,
Boy
good for them.
Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Whew.
Hell yeah.
Rutgers beat Miami.
The
Good win there.
sponsors.
Now we have to talk about this. First of all, the Pop-Tart Bowl. Kansas State got the win on NC
Oh,
State.
yeah.
Good game. The mascot was a Pop-Tart. A man in a Pop-Tart
Fucking
costume.
freaky
Yeah.
as fuck.
Running around, just unhinged. Look up videos of this if you haven't seen it already. Then,
No, I've seen them.
when the game was won,
I watched
he
the
went
game.
into a massive, like, this is a human-sized Pop-Tart. He went into a adequately sized toaster for his human Pop-Tart ass, went down, and then a tray opened on the side of the toaster, and the human-sized Pop-Tart came down. That was not obviously the mascot, but was a similar looking one, and it was edible. It was a massive fucking Pop-Tart that was edible.
Yeah, I heard about this.
It was
I
like
don't know,
5
Pop-Tarts
feet
would-
long by 3 feet wide, and maybe a half foot thick.
Yeah, I don't know what Pop Tarts like fucking like advertisement campaigns go on to, but it's like all like Pop Tarts like wanting to be eaten. And there's like even a fucking weird ass one where they
I
started with
mean-
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I mean,
They
it's
might
so
they
fucking
might have
weird.
just guaranteed themselves to become a New Year's Six because that was insane.
I mean, those commercials kind of metal as fuck. I want to get eaten. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking the song.
Yeah,
Eaten by
kill
Bloodbath.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, eaten by Bloodbath. That's all I was thinking of. The death metal band.
Yeah. The Valreo Alamo Bowl.
Valero.
Valero.
They're a gas station. They're a gas station.
Dyslexic motherfucker.
Arizona beat Oklahoma. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Clemson beat Kentucky by 3. Big scoring game there.
That was interesting. That was actually an interesting game at the time.
And then the final two bowls that are kind of outside of the big name ones. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Notre Dame trounced Oregon State, and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Memphis beat Iowa State. Moving on to...
Super Bowl and Liberty Bowl has been around for a while, though.
It has been, but it's not one of the
I've heard of
big
Sun Bowl.
ones.
It's
over
not.
here.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
tier 1 or.
Right.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Missouri,
Love me some con.
14-3, the final score. They beat Ohio State. First time Ohio State has scored less than 10 points since 2006, I believe. So, Ryan Day. Ooh, buddy. Chick-fil-A, Peach Bowl, Ole Miss, and Penn State. Penn State couldn't get the job done. Big Ten did not look very good in the middle bowl games. Their early bowl games, ones that you don't really care about, Big Ten looked great. Rutgers got a win. Minnesota got a win. But then some of the middle ones, the good bowls, but not the playoff, they didn't look great. Well, obviously the playoff, they looked fucking phenomenal. But
yeah, I've got something to
Because
say
of
when we get to the Orange Bowl.
Would it be
about that.
because of the opt-outs in a way also?
yeah, there's some things I want to talk about bowl season at the very end of this. But yeah, Auburn and Maryland. Maryland did win this very well. Auburn is struggling in many ways. Capital One Orange Bowl, Georgia. They had families, man. 63-3 against Florida State. I know there's a lot of opt-outs, but dude.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Seminoles here real quick, because there were a lot of guys on FSU that were like tweeting after the Alabama-Michigan game. Like, that should have been us. Like, did you see what you did against Georgia? I don't care you had like all your guys sitting, or because a lot of them opted out because they're going into draft. You got fucking trounced by 60 points. And you think you could have taken on Michigan? Are you fucking kidding me?
It's Florida State third stringers. What are you gonna expect?
Exactly. Yeah. You think your third stringers could take on guys like JJ McCarthy, Chris Jenkins, Blake Corum, all those fucking guys? No, you cannot.
They're just mad.
This was a weird bowl, the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. This one was not on national television. It was only through Barstool, which was dumb because my dad actually likes to watch Wyoming football. So Wyoming beat Toledo by 1. MAC champion Toledo, by the way. The Recreant Bowl on January 1st. LSU beat Wisconsin. Kurlami wouldn't be liking that. It was a very close game for a long time. The Verbo Fiesta Bowl, one of the stupidest matchups I think I've ever looked at. I don't care if it's part of the Fiesta Bowl, but whatever. Oregon beat the living dog shit out of Liberty, 45-6.
Well, that's just a free win for Bo Nix on the door.
That's a big win for me because of fuck Liberty.
I think it should have been like Oregon and Ohio State, and then maybe you put Liberty up against like a decently high stakes team, like Liberty and Auburn or Liberty and Maryland would have been good. Penn State,
you gotta remember how some of the bowls work. Fiesta Bowl had to be either the highest rated group of 5 that was rated, or like
they got rid of the style of bowls for a while though. Like the Rose Bowl, the Rose Bowl was not.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying for some of the bowls, how they do it, it has to be certain team. It has to be some certain conferences, and then it's like, okay, group of 5 that's ranked will be in this bigger bowl.
Yeah, God, this was an awful one. That's next up. The Citrus Bowl. I was watching this at work before the Rose Bowl coverage went on. Fucking hell, Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa's offense is horrible. 35-0, the final score. Tennessee gets the win. The Rose Bowl, as we showed you, overtime game. Michigan beats Alabama by 7. And then in a very close game as well, probably the best college football semifinals we've seen yet. Texas beat Washington, or lost to Washington by 7, by 6 there.
Yeah, great game for them.
Absolutely. So the national championship is going to be Washington versus Michigan at Houston, Texas on January 8th.
Penix versus McCarthy. That'll be an interesting one.
I am going home to watch it with my family, who are all big Michigan fans, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Took off work Monday for that. My boss completely understood, so.
That's Joe Boss.
Yeah. But yeah, so a few things to talk about. One, a lot of sports coverage in the football world has started to come out after this absolute cinema of a game between Rose Bowl, in the Rose Bowl between Alabama and Michigan. I've started to say that they want the Rose Bowl to be the final game of the year. They want the Rose Bowl to always be the national championship. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I think JJ Watt JJ Watt said
JJ Watt
there.
Yeah,
he said the grass there is like the best grass to play on and stuff like that, and just the atmosphere and everything there is.
The atmosphere. Like, I mean, I haven't seen a game there. I have been to Pasadena and walked around the Rose Bowl. If you haven't, look up pictures of it. It's the Rose Bowl set up, and behind it are these pristine mountains. I think it's the Sierra Nevada mountain range. And you have the sunlight. Right, You always play the game just late enough that it can get dark by the end of the game, but in the beginning you have light all the way through, and then you see the sunset as the game's going on. It's one of the most pristine. It is the Coliseum.
It's beautiful.
It's the Coliseum of football. There's stadiums that are bigger, better, higher tech. It is the Coliseum.
I've seen pictures of it right at sunset from my mom and dad when dad before I was born. Like they went to one of them in like the late 80s, early 90s, and they took a picture like right as sunset was happening, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that the venue's really nice, like really pretty, really beautiful. But I like, for me,
No, where is the college
Yeah.
championship at this year?
Houston. So it's going to probably be played at NRG Stadium.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Also, I just saw that tier list. I have to remember some of those games.
Yeah. So we'll get to that later. But yeah, I think it'd be a cool thing to have. I think the Rose Bowl is probably the most, and this is not just me being a Big Ten guy. I think the Rose Bowl is the most memorable bowl. It's the one that when you think of bowl games, it's the easiest one to remember. Like, yeah, it could be Sugar or Cotton or Fiesta even, but like the Rose Bowl is a granddaddy of them all for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Michigan never changes their helmets and jerseys, like, very rarely. And when they do, people hate it. But but when we go to the Rose Bowl, we add a heart, like a rose patch, and, like, the M on the shoulders and stuff like that. People love it. Like, the Rose Bowl just brings out something different in college football, and I think having it as the college football championship every year wouldn't be a bad idea. We're all for that. I think the other thing is some people were suggesting that the bowls really need to be fixed. Because if we look at this one particularly, Georgia and Florida State, the Orange Bowl, it was horrible.
In fairness, they were both 5th and 6th seed, but Florida just had like every one of their guys opt out because they're going to the draft
NFL,
or otherwise anyway.
I think something that should be done, and obviously you can't ask guys to go out there and not sit out. You can't make them play. You know, that's not something you can try to do.
Right.
I mean, Zach Zinter, one of the offensive linemen for Michigan, probably lost millions of dollars when he got injured in the game against Ohio State, just because he's not going to be drafted as high now. He'll still get drafted, but he won't be a first-round pick now because of his injury.
That was Mozzie Smith last year, wasn't it? Guy went to the Cowboys?
No, Mozzie Smith, I believe, was still healthy.
But
yeah,
you know, like, I'm not gonna blame the players. I blame NFL for the NFL scouts telling them to opt out and also not having a development league.
I mean, yeah, maybe the UFL will slowly turn into that.
That is the development.
So it is. We've already seen
the
guys
there's
in the XFL and USFL.
A developmental league is like the minor leagues for baseball or the G League for the NBA.
Or
every team has
AHL,
a farm team.
Yeah, AHL for hockey.
Or ECHL.
Well, like the NFL front officers are like, oh, well, that's what practice squads are for. Well, or they can just get the training out practice.
No.
Like, well, that's not.
And also that roster spot for the practice squad is not that big.
There's very limited spots. I think it's like 7 or 8.
You're not going to fill out like a 20, at least a 22-man roster on a practice squad.
The NFL has enough money to garner a minor league. Now, the issue with that is you would need 32 minor league teams because every team needs a farm team. Because if not, then you're going to have contract disputes. Some guy gets drafted 7th round. No, some guy gets drafted 7th round, and we only have 16 farm teams. He gets sent to a team that's owned by the Chargers and the Raiders. He turns out to be Puka Nacua. Okay, let's just say that. Puka Nacua, if there was a farm league, Puka Nacua would definitely be a farm league team. Here's the thing. He's on that team. Who the fuck gets him? Both of those teams own that farm team.
Yeah.
It
sounds like a good idea until you brought up that part.
But thing is, if I remember right, not every team in NHL or NBA or MLB has a farm league. If I remember right,
I believe every NBA team does.
With MLB, like there's minor leagues and from like single A to triple A, and some teams have them, some teams don't. In fact, like my local AAA affiliate to the Red Sox was taking.
They're always so far away.
There's one. COVID.
There's one in the city I live in, the Tin Caps. The Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Me and my wife went to a game. It was a phenomenal time. They had a great game. But at the same time, they're owned by like the Padres, who are out in Cali. Why the fuck do you have a farm team in Indiana, man? What?
That's I mean, for me, it was the Richmond Flying Squirrels. The AA team is the AA team for San Fran.
For me, it was the Lowell Spinners for the Red Sox, but they were a casualty when they got rid of minor league teams in 2020 for cost cutting measures. They were fun teams though. I watched guys like Euclid and Jacoby Ellsbury go up through them.
8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15.
But one thing that I think would be really helpful coming forward with this to keep big teams from sitting guys, you have the bowl games be separate from the college football semifinals or playoffs in general. So what what I'm saying is that you have bowl season, and bowl season is over before January hits. Then January's playoff, and that's it.
Okay, that doesn't sound terrible.
So that way,
Guess.
teams that we have to play a bowl game before they move on. You could return to the normal bowl game setup of the Big Ten plays the Pac-12 in the if there is a Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl, and you have the Cotton Bowl is the Big 12 in the SEC, and the Sugar Bowl is the SEC runner-up, and
I thought Sugar Bowl was
But-
ACC against Big
yeah,
Ten.
yeah, not Big Ten. No, Big Ten's only big bowl was the Rose Bowl.
No, I remember Virginia Tech faced against Michigan in 2011. Fuck that game. Fuck that game. That was a catch.
I remember that game. I liked it. Michigan won.
Danny Cole caught it. Danny Cole caught it, motherfucker.
But anyway, having all those games end by January 1st, that way you can still have your January 1st 6, and then you could have the playoff afterward, would really, I think, improve a lot of these bowl games. People would enjoy the bowls. There'd be a good break for your college football teams to get healthy for the bowl season, and then subsequently the playoffs. That also introduced another game into the league. More games, easier to weed out teams that are kind of faking it. And then you can still have your 12-team playoff and have that 12-team playoff be done by, February. That way the NFL gets all of February just for the Super Bowl. I think it's a good idea.
I just still think it's just NFL scouts and NFL saying just sit out so we can draft you.
Yeah,
that's really
most
my
likely
thing.
that. I mean, you want to be.
But at the
of
same
course, these
time,
guys that are going to the NFL want to be healthy for when they get to
right.
training camp so they can play.
I just think the big thing is I hate that. I love the Rose Bowl. I hate that it was a college football semifinal game. That's not the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl should be the end. The Sugar Bowl should be the end of something. It should be one game. This is the Sugar Bowl, not this is because when you look at the All-State Sugar Bowl, were you really excited to win the Sugar Bowl, or were you just excited to win the semifinal so you could move on to the National College Football Playoff Championship? It takes so much life out of the bowls. You need to reintroduce that life that bowl season gave. Put the bowls, give them their own time, put the college football playoff afterwards. The college football playoff should not take precedent over the bowls. You're stepping on their turf, let them be. Return us to bowl normalcy and let the bowl games happen before the playoff. All right, that was my rant on that. Anyway, all right. I think we already covered Jets Browns, so we'll get into Lions Cowboys now, where we're getting into the NFL.
We've already debated the hell out of the Brett Allen shit earlier, so not really much to say about that further.
Apologies about my condition right now. I'm not going to say all of the stats, because I would be coughing through all of it.
Because he's dying.
I'm dying, but I'll highlight some of the big ones. 19-20, the final score. Cowboys win on ref ball. Say it how it is.
Pretty much.
Again, as we talked about, tackle pass that they've done many times before, try to get the 2-point conversion. That was called a flag, and there was an offsides, moved it back up. So they attempted 3 2-point conversions. All 3 of them were either called back, or a penalty was induced, or the last one just didn't work. So the Dallas Cowboys get the win by 1. Rough games for the Detroit Lions. Goff had 271 on 19 for 34, took a sack and 2 interceptions, a 67.2 rating. Running on the ground, they had a good setup, 65 from David Montgomery and a touchdown, 43 from Jahmyr Gibbs, and 11 from Amon-Ra St. Brown. He also was the leader, 90 receiving yards and 1 touchdown, as well as Laporta with 84, who just made his first Pro Bowl, and Jameson Williams with 69. That is something you guys need to remind me if I forget. We need to talk over the full Pro Bowl rosters, because those got released recently.
We can get to that after we go through the games, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Dak Prescott on the other side, 345 yards and 26 for 38, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 3 sacks, 1 3.5 rating. Good game from him. Tony Pollard, again, still doesn't look like a good RB1 option, 16 for 49 on the ground. He was a lead rusher. No one else had
the rushing wasn't very good. Only had 61 yards of rushing.
But
someone who did look great.
CeeDee Lamb, 13 for 227 and a touchdown, as well as Brandon Cooks, 5 for 16 and a touchdown. That's why Muzzy won. That is why Muzzy beat me 100%. That shit hurt.
I forgot Muzzy had CD.
Yeah, that shit hurt.
Also, remember this:
So,
Mike McCarthy's not a head football coach; he's a difficulty slider for the team.
Yeah, Gorlami. If Gorlami was here, which he unfortunately couldn't because of a family issue, he would be pissed at the fact McCarthy won this game.
yeah,
It is.
In spite of McCarthy.
What's worse too is that this probably knocks Lions out of the second seed because they basically had that clinched because on paper they probably could have beaten the Cowboys without Brad Allen fucking them up. So
I think
that's
the
just even
biggest
more
thing
painful.
here is this really exposes a weakness in the Lions defense, which is their secondary. They have good linebackers, a great defensive line. Their secondary, especially without C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah,
Yikes.
they are projected to go for a cornerback either in free agency or the draft this year. So
They could
that's
get
definitely an area.
the guy who just declared out of Iowa. What's his name? He was the punt returner for him too.
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, white cornerback.
That's a rare breed.
They're predicting him to be the first white cornerback drafted in the first round since I believe the 70s.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. White boy
because
summer is
I
about
know
to make a
I only know that
comeback,
because like
I'll tell you
last
that
year I
much.
think they made a huge deal out of I think it was the Broncos drafted a white cornerback too last year, like one of
the white
later rounds.
Bronco. Yeah.
Yeah, the white Bronco.
White Bronco, the endangered species.
The endangered species.
Funny enough, his
All
pick was announced by O.J. Simpson.
right.
Fucking hell.
Not really. That's just the punchline.
I know, but still.
Speaking of punchline, Bills, you were almost one here.
Oh, I mean, not really, considering what Bailey Zappi and the Patriots offense did. So
He had 3 picks, dude.
yeah, 2 of them were bad. The third one, people are blaming him, even though it was Farrell Brown having the ball punched out of his arms.
I mean, these were pretty. The Bills, on one hand, you're running the ball a lot more, but Josh Allen's looking worse and worse. He had 50% completion percentage, 15 for 30 for 169, interception, no touchdowns, 1 sack, and then running 48 yards for Cook, Josh Allen 44 and 2 TDs, 22 for Ty Johnson and 10 for Khalil Shakir, 127 rushing in total, which is crazy for the Bills. Stephon Diggs continues to be underwhelming. 7 targets, 4 receptions, 26 yards. Not good. He looks like he's taking a massive, like a leap backwards. Not what you want.
No, I don't.
But then
I don't
you're
see
playing the Patriots.
True.
Ugh, they're
And
horrible.
yes, we beat them once, but that was basically just lucky and a fluke win for us, especially after you lost. Was that the game after they lost Matt Milano for the year? I forget.
Maybe.
Either way. But anyway, we got lucky that game. We were not going to have this luck this game because after what we did to the Broncos on Christmas Eve, the Bills knew we were going to come in and try to play spoiler, which we tried and failed miserably at.
Zappy 16 for 26 for 209, no touchdowns, 3 picks, 3 sacks, a 47.3 rating. Patriots need a quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott 14 for 39, a touchdown as well as Zappy 5 for 37 and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Kevin Harris, 54 yards, 2 receptions.
On the plus side, though, not only did Jalen Reagor actually go back to his punt returning skills and run back the first play of the game for a touchdown on the kickoff, but this loss also puts us back at the top 3 in the draft because like some convoluted way, like because the Giants also lost this week, because the Commanders also lost this week, because some weird convoluted tiebreaker shit that involves draft order, we're now back in position 3.
Yep, and you'll get a good shot at a quarterback there because I think if I were the Bears, I would draft Marvin Harrison. Fields I think should stay, and then the second pick is the Cardinals.
Second pick is Cardinals, and I think they're going to go.
No, it's Washington.
Oh, Washington moved up.
So then Washington.
Right now, Washington.
Congratulations, Caleb Williams. You are a commander, and then that leaves anybody for the Patriots besides Williams.
Yeah, I don't know about. I actually don't know if we are going to go for a quarterback at 3 because we need.
If you draft a long snapper out of North Dakota State, I'm going to flip my shit.
No, because I'm going to say we also definitely need O-line help, and there's guys like Olumoyu Fashanu out of Penn State, Joe Alt out of Notre Dame that are going to be going probably pretty high.
You draft a quarterback first. Quarterback is the most essential position in the game of football, and you have 2 duds, 2 dog turds at quarterback. No.
Well, we could also look out and see somebody like somebody like Michael Penix somehow falls out of the first round, which big if I know.
No.
We also were thinking the same thing with Will Levis last year, but here I'm just saying, like, it's not out of
the difference between Will Levis and Michael Penix is already massive. Like, Michael Penix might not turn in the NFL, but at the same time, you can't let that guy fall.
Probably not. I'm just saying, it's
You
a
need a
possibility.
quarterback. You need a quarterback. You draft a quarterback. And
I do need a quarterback. And a new coach. Thanks.
You're going to have
Thank
Jaden
you,
Daniels.
Acid.
You're going to have Michael Penix. You're going to have Bo Nix. You're going to have Drake May. You're going to have the quarterback out of Florida State. I forget his name. Even though he's probably
Jordan Travis.
draft him.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis. Like, you could draft him if you wanted. I don't know why you would because he's hurt. There's also J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Like, there
McCarthy,
are...
which I wouldn't mind if they picked him up.
Joe Milton out of Tennessee. If you want a guy that's basically the black version of Brett Favre because he throws so many picks.
But I would say Quinn
So
Ewers
many
if he
options.
didn't want to stick around in Texas again for another year for some reason. I don't know
Don't
why
draft
Quinn
Quinn
Ewers is sticking in
Ewers.
Texas.
Don't, no, dude. Oh my God, no, not him.
I also don't know why he's sticking.
I don't
either,
get the hype on him.
Arch
I
Manning's
have watched so much of him because I enjoy Texas football here and there. He is He makes so many bad decisions and just there's tons of passes he makes. Wide open guys, fucking misses them.
Yeah,
just throws the ball way
though,
too gung-ho hard at him.
Regardless, though, he needs to get out of there because we thought he was going to be going out this year, and him staying now fucks up Arch Manning's development, who I want to draft when he gets to declare in 3 years.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Know.
Bills almost lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bills being the Bills, and then this one's Falcons being the Falcons.
Talking about draft picks
here.
Falcons are
keeping Arthur Smith.
The biggest thing about sorry, this game is Chicago wants Fields. The state, not the state, it's the city. The city of Chicago wants to keep Justin Fields.
The
state of Illinois, unless they live outside of Chicago, in which they're all not Bears fans. Fields went 20 for 32 for 268 and 8.4 average, 1 touchdown, no picks, 3 sacks, 99.5 rating. Also was their second leading rusher with 11 for 45. The lead rusher was Khalil Herbert, 18 for 124. Not great game on the ground. 1 touchdown as well. Leading receiver DJ Moore, 9 for 159 and a touchdown. The fans at Soldier Field were cheering, keep Fields. We want Fields. We want Fields. I think he's a dynamic quarterback that is a great dual threat. That no one's really questioned his throwing ability. A lot of guys that are dynamic in multiple ways, like Lamar Jackson, or even before he got real big, Mike Vick, were worried, like, can he really throw the ball? Can all he do is run? Fields is as good running as he is passing. So you need to give him some weapons and some help on the O-line. You have 2 picks, one which is perfect for the best guy in college football, Marvin Harrison. If you think anyone's better than Marvin Harrison in college football, you need to watch film. Marvin Harrison is the most generational talent, and I've said this week after week, he's the most generational talent wide receiver in college football I have seen ever in my life. And I haven't, I know I've only been here like a quarter of a century, but still, like, he's incredible.
Yeah. Like, if you pass him up and do pick up Caleb Williams, that you are making a bigger mistake when you trade up to draft Trubisky. Yeah, I'm saying that right now.
I think you draft Marvin Harrison, you keep Fields, and then with one of your mid round, actually, it's still probably in the top 4th of the draft picks. I think it's like 8 or 9. Top 10, maybe.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they try to get a haul off of a shit team that's probably going to be shit next year, so you get another first round pick.
It is a top 10 pick. It's number 10 right now.
So, yeah, I think it is totally possible for you to get, obviously, Marvin Harrison. You draft him first, and then you go in and you draft at that 10 spot a good offensive lineman. I think there will be one left. Joe Alt might get drafted out of Notre Dame already by then, and the Penn State tackle also might get drafted. But one of them, I think, should be up. There's also another guy, I believe, coming out of Northwestern, I think. That's also going to be a good option.
So I'm going to name the teams from, Chicago's first round. Then it's Washington, Patriots, Cardinals, Giants, Chargers, Tennessee, Jets, Falcons, and Bears. Do you think that there'll be a bunch of O-line game picked up before the Bears' 10th pick?
No, with the amount of quarterbacks in this league, I don't think so. I think there'll be I think either Joe Alt or, again, Fashanu, thank you. That long-ass name, I'm sorry. One of them, I think, will be available at that point, in my non-expert opinion. One of them will be available. You take Marvin Harrison, you take an O-lineman. That fills 2 big needs for you, and you go from there.
Okay. Now I'm just wondering, like, if all these teams that I just named, like, will any of them gonna pick up a bunch of linemen? Because
Falcons need a quarterback. Tennessee could.
That's a maybe. Chargers, meh.
Chargers definitely
Giants,
will.
Yeah,
Giants
are
they have to decide if
the
they're
whole
going to
mess.
stick, with Jones
Tommy
or
DeVito.
this guy or, I don't know.
Washington needs a
I'm not.
quarterback.
I don't
Washington
understand why
will
the
pick a
Giants
quarterback.
are. The Giants are projected to pick up a quarterback in the draft according to PFF. I don't see why. If it's by because you have the Daniel Jones contract, you have Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, but Daniel Jones
So,
is trash.
I know, but they
He had a bad year. He had a
it's
real
going to be
bad
probably
year.
going to take them moving all heaven and earth to try and get out of that contract they just signed him to, especially after the rise of Tommy DeVito this
Yeah,
year.
that's probably because they're stupid for giving that type of contract to him.
Well, he is. Well, they are. I mean, John Mara is a fucking idiot. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
All right.
Arthur Smith needs to be fired, but he's
Yeah.
not.
yeah.
Taylor Heineke did not do great. 3 interceptions. Riddler came in, only went 3 for 4 and threw a pick himself. That was horrible. Bijan Robinson, 15 carries and 75 yards. Good there. And Algier 1 for 75 touchdown. They just need a quarterback, I think. And they could actually be able to start gaining some momentum.
They're definitely in a position where they can get somebody. Because I think most of the guys that pick ahead of them aren't going to be super quarterback needy.
I think they'll probably go with a younger guy. I think the Falcons saw Riddler and they were like, oh, he'll be good because he's older and experienced, and they saw that didn't work out, so they're going to draft a younger guy. I feel like they could go for a Jaden Daniels if he's available at that point. All right, Colts, Raiders, 3-point game. Indianapolis gets the win at home. Minshew played well, 14 for 23 for 224 and a touchdown, 9.7 average, 1 sack, 115.5 rating. Jonathan Taylor on the ground, 21 for 96 and a touchdown, as well as Trey Simeon, 5 for 32. Receiving, Alec Pierce, 1 for 58, touchdown. Excuse me, Josh Downs, 2 for 53. The funny thing is, I think you had Minshew mic'd up and Max Crosby. If you haven't heard it yet, Max Crosby kept calling him little ass boy every time he hit him. Every time. It was kind of funny. Aiden O'Connell, 30 for 47 for 299, a 6.4 average, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 2 sacks. A great game from Aiden O'Connell. Zamir White on the ground, 20 for 71. Devontae Adams, 13 for 126 and 2 touchdowns. It seems like the coaching head change in Vegas, even if he's interim head coach, he should be a permanent head coach because getting this much production of Devontae Adams when, you couldn't get any before with McDaniels. Which is, So, I mean, great performance there. But again, the Colts just, I think, have a more complete roster. Their defense looks a lot better. Even though it was a little close, I mean, you're on your second string You're on your second string quarterback. Your running backs have been banged up all year. You're still without Zach Moss, a really good two-back that's really, showed up very well this season. And then Michael Pittman Jr. is back after being killed last week. So good performance there.
It's Colts Texans this week. Colts are facing against the Texans this week. Is this Coach of the Year game for whoever wins gets Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I could see it. I still think it's not that. I think it's got to be Dan Campbell in my opinion.
Dan Campbell could definitely get it.
True.
I think he's long overdue for it. D'Amico Ryans will have his chance even next year with a healthy team going into their second season. So, but yeah, Colts get the win. They put themselves in a position to get the AFC South Championship. We'll talk about that when we get into next week's and the playoff picture. 1 point win here. Rams and Matthew Stafford look kind of dangerous. Dark horse Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. Their offense is incredible. And I mean, it's like
maybe.
The Rams are like a blind guy with a fully automatic 12 gauge and a 3,000 round belt in a bar. They're going to win a shootout, but they might die in the process. All right? Their defense is non-existent. I'm not. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I mean,
look me in my eyes and tell me I'm wrong. Can't lead a horse to water.
Please quote this, Muncie.
Put that on a shirt. Put that on a shirt.
100%.
The Rams are a blind man with an automatic shotgun or some shit. Like that.
With 300 shells.
The Rams are a blind man in a bar with a fully automatic 12 gauge shotgun with a 3,000 round belt. They're gonna win
That's rounds
shootouts.
shells.
Round
Not
shells.
rounds.
Whatever.
It's a difference.
Cuts back
It's
to
a
the
difference.
fucking moist critical mag or clip.
Yes.
Yeah.
These
There's
aren't
a difference
clips,
between
they're mags. You
magazine
look fucking
clips.
stupid.
There's
Um,
difference between belts, clips, mags, shells. Oh god. Okay.
but 1 point win again. The Rams, again, their defense is non-existent, but they have so many weapons on the offensive side that appear out of nowhere. Matt Stafford is as good as ever. He went 24 for 34 for 317, a touchdown, 2 picks, 4 sacks, 85.0 rating. Kieran Williams, this is his first week under 100 yards rushing, and he had 3 touchdowns still. And then Puka Nacua is their leading
still
receiver, 5 at 118. Then DeMarcus Robinson, Tyler Higbee, then Cooper Kupp with a touchdown on his own, 4 for 6 as far as receptions and targets.
I think they're also going to be resting Cooper Kupp going into this week too.
I mean, I feel like they should just
In
rest
fairness,
everybody.
I'd rest Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Rest
I
Puka,
know you can get
rest
the
Matt
rookie.
Stafford.
I know you
I
can
mean-
get the rookie record.
Well, they already are. They're going to put Carson Wentz in as starter.
All you got to do to help this defense out, I think, is take a mixture of Toradol and Bane Super Serum and just give it to Aaron Donald, because he'll probably be able to do something. So, again, for the Giants, Tyrod Taylor performing pretty well. 27 for 41 for 319, touchdown, a pick. 6 sacks. Again, that's that offensive line for the Giants being about as useful as, anything in New
Wet
York.
duct tape. Wet duct tape.
Yeah, wet duct tape. Tyrod Taylor, 6 for 40 on the ground was the lead rusher, and then Darius Slayton, 4 for 106, and a touchdown was their lead receiver. Giants need a whole lot of things coming up in the draft. Do you pick a new quarterback? I mean, do you move on from Daniel Jones? That's a huge contract. I don't know if you can. Your defense does look to be decent. I would definitely think about picking up a secondary player in the second round.
I'd also maybe consider O-line too, because
Yeah, you definitely need
their
that
O-line definitely needs work.
If you're moving on from a quarterback, figure out how to move Daniel Jones. That will take everything possible. And then maybe draft a quarterback. But O-line is needed a lot more in this instance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Horse. The Matthew Stafford blind in a bar with a massive shotgun and thousands of shells could win a playoff game. Speaking of winning playoff games, Eagles.
How?
How?
How? How? I don't know.
They
The funny
fucking beat the Eagles. No, they fucking beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, but lose to the fucking Jets and the Commanders.
And the
What
Bears.
kind of bass backwards bullshit is that?
Okay, to be fair,
And not just
Eagles,
any
you
Cardinals team.
lost. You also lost to the Jets.
Yes.
And you
I'm
also
still pissed
almost
about that
lost to the Commanders both times you played them.
Yep.
Yes,
Very close.
I don't
And
want.
then you lose to Jonathan Gannon, who's been like one of the worst rookie head coaches of the season so far.
I mean, he went into this game, won it, and gave his division rival the number 1 seed.
I didn't think meddling would make the Eagles lose with involving Jonathan Gannon twice, but
I mean,
Here
look
we
at
are.
these numbers. Jalen Hurts, 18 for 23 for 167, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Then DeAndre Swift, their lead rusher, 61 yards, followed by Jalen Hurts, 25 yards. Then receiving, A.J. Brown, 53, Dallas Goedert, 47, Julio Jones, 34, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's amazing to me.
Julio Jones had a 2-touchdown day.
Yeah.
The year of
Yeah.
our Lord 2023.
Then for the
goodness.
Cardinals, Kyler Murray, 25 for 31 for 232, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack, 116.7 rating. James Conner was him, 26 carries, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. This man must have, ate a steroid salad or something before this game, because golly, Bob
Q 18 times that James Q 18 times
All the
commentators
pills in
reporting
the
that James
cereal.
Conner beat cancer.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia, get your fucking fat ass, get on that fucking ATV. Get the
Now
fuck
you
out.
know.
How
Now
did
you
James,
know my pain.
how? I mean, I know maybe once you get outside the tackles, it's a little easier because the secondary and middle linebackers for the Eagles aren't exactly all world, but at the same time, that defensive line is
Their
scary as
core
fuck.
and their secondary and linebacker cores are shot to shit right now with injuries or just not being as effective as they were at the start of the year.
At the same
Also-
time, though, how do you run against guys like Jordan Davis in the middle?
They didn't go
You
through the
put
middle.
James
they went
Conner
on
in,
the
I guess.
outside.
Yeah.
They went on the outside.
Still, how do you
That
block him
touchdown
from coming
wasn't
up
in
the
the
middle? Like, oh my god. This doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, I think I'll say it, like, outside runs might be the way to beat the Eagles. It's what lost them their only game of the season for a while last year against the Commanders.
Get the ball away from that front four that's going to immediately eat any running back that gets put towards it alive. It'll get you at least a couple yards more than you'd expect to get.
Like,
Or
what?
just throw it towards the secondary. They ain't gonna do shit.
I mean,
Or do that.
I'll say this just because he's a player that I know very well, and I know he's a Michigan guy, but Mike Sainristil, number 0 on Michigan, if you watch the Rose Bowl game, the nickelback that we had that was blitzing a ton, be able to stop plays, that would be a great type of nickelback that the Eagles would need. A guy that can stop the run, play the short flats, do everything you need there. The Eagles really need something of that nature. It's a little too late to get that now because it is nearing week 18. Well, it is week 18 technically, coming up in the next day. So you might need to call some schemes. You got to do something here because the Eagles have been spiraling downward. And apparently the coaching staff thought the best thing for them to do to reinvigorate team bonding was to do an escape room. So
Oh my god. Yikes.
I mean, Nick Sirianni already, in my opinion, is a horrible head coach. Not only is he mouthy and doesn't know his place in the NFL, I don't think he knows what he's doing. I'll be 100% honest with you. Like, I'm a Bengals fan. I know that Zach Taylor doesn't know what the fuck he's doing when it comes to football. He knows how to get the right people in the right spots. When it comes to football, he's clueless as a fucking bat. So, something's got to change here.
They left Matt Patricia in that fucking escape room.
Yeah.
If they
NFC
lose
South.
is Tommy DeVito? Oh, is Tommy DeVito playing
No.
this week?
No,
All
I
right,
think he's
I'm
hurt,
s-
and they're gonna put Tyrod Taylor in again.
Okay, I'm saved from a fucking Sidney Crosby jersey at least. God damn it!
Wait, what?
What?
I
You
said if
remember
the
bet
Giants,
we made a couple
yeah,
weeks ago?
if the Giants,
Oh, there's
beat-
another bet I forgot about.
yeah.
Mamba, the Lions clinched the NFC North. You got to drink beer out of a shoe.
Oh, you do. That is right.
Next week. Not right now.
Now here's what you got to do, Mamba. You got to be a man. You're not drinking beer out of a
When did I
shoe.
say that?
Yeah, it was a while
It's Das
ago.
Boot.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
drink. You have to drink Malort out of a shoe.
I don't even have
And it's-
Malort right now.
You can get
And
Malort.
all-
You can get Malort. You live near Chicago. You can easily get Malort.
Also, it's Das Boot.
Das.
Das Boot.
Boot, yeah.
Das Boot.
So NFC
Plug my headphones.
NFC South continues to be a shit
Shit
fest.
show.
Yeah, 23-13, the final score. The Saints get the win over the Buccaneers. Excuse me.
Anyway.
Derek Carr,
Man,
197, 24 for 32 for 6.2 average, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack, 111.1 rating. Jamal Williams on the ground, 58 yards and 19 carries, as well as Alvin Kamara, 10 for 45. Receiving, Juwan Johnson, 8 for 90 and a touchdown, as well as Taysom Hill, 2 for 30 and a touchdown. Then for the Buccaneers,
Taysom Hill.
yeah, Baker Mayfield, 22 for 33 for 309, a 9.4 average, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 2 sacks, and 91.6 rating. Not much running going for them. Rashad White usually has a decent gain every time, but 11 for 42, his best. The best he could do this time. Trey Palmer, 8 for 84 and a touchdown. Chris Godwin, 3 for 81 and a touchdown. Mike Evans, 3 for 70. I think the Saints really limiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a one-dimensional game, not allowing them to run very well, kind of opened the door up for them to really focus on the pass. And again, they have Tyrann Mathieu back there, who's a very good field general for the Saints defense.
Yeah. So I had Rashad White in my game against Macedon this past week, and I was honestly surprised he didn't put up more points. Then I went back and watched basically the coverages game, and I'm like, oh, no wonder. Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
they shut him down. He's a very good young running back for the Buccaneers that I think could eventually hit the ceiling of a all-star caliber player. But for right now, not much is going on.
Yeah.
We'll get into the
He's
NFC
like at his-
South. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's at kind of the same stage he was in that Derrick Henry was before he had that massive breakout in 2019. We just like rumbled against the Patriots in wild card and all the way up to
Yeah.
an NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get into the NFC South debacle of who's actually going to make it in a minute when we go through the playoff picture at the end of our recap of the week. It's nuts. Commanders and 49ers. Not going to go into this too much. Commanders are checked out both on and off the field. Sam Howell started out the year great and now has not looked as good. People are already suggesting that since the Commanders have a very high pick and might even get the first quarterback available because the Bears could draft Marvin Harrison, they should also replace Sam Howell. I mean, if you get Caleb Williams, maybe you want them here. Maybe you want Jaden Daniels. I mean, I don't know. There's a big decisions to make there that you could go any way with. Then for the Niners, Brock Purdy looked very good. I don't think he's really gotten any MVP level status back because that Christmas night game was so heavily watched. I think Lamar's basically got it shored up now, which is kind of iffy in my opinion. I still feel like McCaffrey should get it. McCaffrey is just a Swiss Army knife.
For that game with Brock Purdy with the Baltimore game, that wasn't Brock Purdy all of a sudden going like, "Oh, I'm a bad player." It's Baltimore defense.
That Ravens defense locked the fuck in.
Oh
like,
yeah.
One interception was Brock Purdy's fault last week. The rest of it was Brock Purdy's arm got hit, the ball got tipped at the line, tons of different things. So, a lot of things you have to worry about there. I think it's Brock Purdy could have been MVP this season, but I think that Ravens game really sealed it for him. But again, not talking too much more on this. The Niners get a good win, clinch the division because
have a happy retirement, Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Ron Rivera is gone. Another loss for the Panthers and $300,000 down the drain for their owner. Jaguars win 26-0. Good job, Jacksonville. You've managed to somehow still be on top of this shit. 9-7 for all three teams in the AFC South, besides the Tennessee Titans, who are 5-11. That's going to get crazy, especially. But again, we'll talk about that when we get into the playoff picture. Not going to look too much into this. Good running day by the Jaguars. 102 yards for ETN, 32 for Tanks Bigsby, 2 touchdowns for ETN. 60 receiving yards for Evan Ingram, 53 for Jamal Agnew before his injury, and 39 for Calvin Ridley. The Panthers stink bad. I don't know how much of it is on Bryce Young. I don't know how much of it was on their head coach, but we'll have to see what they do to improve the team in the offseason.
Stunk worse than my fucking dogs go out, get sprayed by a skunk, and then roll in cow manure.
That happened to my first dog when I was a kid. She reeked badly.
Also, Jaguars, good job, Doug Peterson. You actually learned to rest players, a.k.a. Trevor Lawrence was hurt, so you actually rest him.
Yeah.
Who would have fucking thought?
This game is rough in many instances. First of all, the score, almost a 40-point win for the Ravens, 56-19 the final score.
In the words of Matthew Lillard, what is your deal, Mike?
The Dolphins ran the ball pretty well, 107 for Akine. Or Achan, I'm sorry. Tua Tagovailoa, 22 for 38 for 237, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 3 sacks. That defense causing him fits. Not only that, they lost the game, and then they lose their star blitzing linebacker, Chubb, with an ACL injury. That's a brutal injury. When you see a football player screaming, unless it's Mac Jones, you know it's a very serious injury. The Ravens... Lamar Jackson looked very good again. He went 18 for 21 for 321 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack. That's another reason why I say I think he has the MVP locked up, because this performance this late in the season, wow. Also, I think I heard one of the best renditions of a song that was the Bruno Mars song, I Should Have Bought You Flowers, but it was changed to You Should Have Picked Zay Flowers. Because Zay Flowers is one of the best rookie wide receivers in the league right now. 3 for 106 yards and a touchdown on this Ravens offense. He's become the wide receiver one. He's become the passing option number one. No Mark Andrews, it's him. He's the guy that they look for every time.
If anybody should draft him, it was the fucking Chargers who picked up Quentin Johnson over him. Which that's another thing. I will say that the Seahawks, I think, are okay with Smith and Jigba, that they picked up 2 picks before Flowers.
He's good.
Well as Jake Bobo having his emergence. So
yeah, not bad picks there, but like Zay Flowers looks incredible.
Oh yeah, he's definitely. I'd say it's tied between. Well, I wouldn't say it's tied. Like he's definitely ahead of Jordan Addison by at least a mile.
Oh yeah,
in ranking.
Yeah,
I think the other thing is the Dolphins. This reminds me of the Chargers last year. Chargers go into one of the last games of the season. Everybody gets hurt. Again, not a ton of people got hurt here, but Tyreek Hill's dealing with a constant injury. The fact that his house burned down. Yeah. Then you also had no Jalen Waddle. Tua Tagovailoa's injury status is always up and down. Achan's been dealing with injuries throughout the season, and then you lose your best pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Rough, very rough. So Dolphins on the trend down at the wrong time of the season. Not good for them. Ravens, I'll be honest, I don't know if any other NFL team looks better. Eagles have taken a step back since last season. Niners lost heavily to the Ravens. They've taken the season with stride.
I still think
This is
it's
what
Ravens,
a healthy Ravens
49ers.
team what looks like. I'm going to be scared if I'm an NFC North opponent for the next few years.
AFC.
AFC, yeah, I'm
AFC
terrified.
North, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, this was just what do you expect?
This
CJ
was
Stroud is back.
Stroud's back, and so is Tannehill. So
yeah. Did Will Levis come in late? Did they not start him?
No. He got hurt.
Yeah, that's why
during the game.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why. Also, Derrick Henry not producing as well. 42 yards on 12 carries. CJ Stroud, 24 for 32 for 213, 6.7 average, 1 touchdown, 1 sack, 102.7 rating. Definitely have some competition. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Sam Laporta did get picked to the Pro Bowl. We'll talk about those lists in a second, but at the same time, he's been very good this season, both Stroud and Laporta. Devin Singletary, 16 for 80 on the ground, as well as Pierce, 8 for 16. And then receiving, Nico Collins is back, 7 for 80, and Robert Woods, 4 for 58. Texans are healthy, and they have a really good shot. Honestly, they look like the most dangerous team in the AFC South right now. If they're healthy, they look the best.
No question.
It's Houston and Indianapolis facing against each other.
We said it was Jacksonville's to lose, and Jacksonville's division to lose, and Indy is barely hanging on to that 7th seed.
That's literally what it comes down to. A little preview. Tennessee plays Jacksonville because the last game of the season is always divisional matchups. Tennessee plays Jacksonville.
Yep.
Indianapolis and Houston play each other. So, Indianapolis and Houston, you win, you get in. But there's a caveat. If you win and Jacksonville loses, you win the division and you play a game at home to start the season. So, again, that means a Jacksonville, probably without Will Levis, but could be playing, losing to Tennessee. I don't know. But then, at the same time, if you win, you get in, you're playing a wild card game. Which, especially for a Texans team who's one of the younger teams in the league, would be a very good sign. But yeah, a lot of caveats coming into the final week of the season that we'll talk about, and big games as well. Henceforth, coming up in the episode. But anyway,
Mike Tomlin keeps his no losing.
Can't keep getting away with this.
I'm serious. There's got to be something in the Constitution that just makes it illegal for Mike Tomlin to do worse than 8-8.
I think the only thing that is more, there's death, taxes, Mike Tomlin not having a losing season, and Nelson Aguilar not catching passes.
Nelson Aguilar's not on the Seahawks.
Well, I know.
Oh wait,
You're saying,
all right.
unlike Aguilar,
I could catch. Sorry, the Bears game to me.
Mason Rudolph, 247 yards, 11.4 average, 1 sack. Looks pretty good out there. 112.2 rating. Also running, Najee Harris, 27 for 122. Finally produced, also 2 touchdowns. And Pickens, 7 for 131. Looked amazing. Then the Seahawks, Geno Smith, 290 and 8.8 average, 1 touchdown, 1 sack, 106.9 rating. Kenneth Walker, not that good on the ground, 10 for 53 and a touchdown. DK Metcalf, 5 for 105. 106, and then Noah Fant, 5 for 59. This was a very close game. 2 teams that are kind of just on the cusp of making the playoffs. I believe the Seahawks are still in contention, or are they eliminated? No.
Yes.
Seahawks are still holding on. I think
Just
they're...
barely.
I don't know if they're 7th seed, but they're definitely in contention for
They
it.
need Green Bay to lose and Seahawks win for Seahawks to get in. So they need the Bears to beat the Packers.
Yeah. And
Okay, so
one
Bears
thing
need to beat the Packers. And who do they play?
Who?
For Seahawks,
who-
who do they play this week?
we'll get into it in a second.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Anyway, moving back
Arizona.
from this game. Yeah. Moving back from this game, good performance by both sides. I think the Steelers really played through their star players well. Najee Harris, George Pickens looked very good. And Mason Rudolph, got to hand it to him. It hurts me to say a Pittsburgh quarterback looked good, but he did. This game was pain. Oh my god. It's Jared Stidham versus Easton Stick.
That's how much
Both
pain it
quarterbacks
is.
we expected to be starting this game going into the year.
Yeah. Denver got the win. Ho hum. They're second in the AFC West.
And out of playoff stage.
Yeah, out of the
Make it to
playoffs. They're 8-8.
This is
out
a
of the
meaningless
playoffs.
game that's just nothing but tankable positioning. So
Both
not much to say on
quarterbacks looked horrible. I'm going to move on from that because I don't want to look at it anymore because I'm already sick enough as it is.
Good luck with that dead
You wanna
cat
talk about this one, then?
Broncos.
What?
I
You want
mean,
to talk about this?
How about that? We don't need to talk about this one.
I mean, Jake Browning looked okay in this game. It was just the amount of sacks. Like, Pollock,
no.
our all offensive line coach, should be fired after this game.
Agreed.
I think we're going to talk about this more at the end of the season when we start doing our conference wrap-ups about what's going to happen. But the Bengals have a lot of free agents coming up. Chidobe Awuzie, cornerback.
T.
right-
Higgins is in there.
T. Higgins, Tyler
gonna
Boyd,
get paid.
Trenton Irwin, right tackle Jonah Williams. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. And
Do
on top of all
Hendrickson and
this,
Hubbard have their contracts coming up, or is that next
not
year?
this year. That's next year. Hendrickson
Okay.
signed for another little bit. So, I mean, the Bengals didn't look too great in this game. We didn't have T. Higgins that long. He got a rib injury that kept him out for a while. And Jamar Chase is dealing with a shoulder injury. Obviously, no Joe Burrow. That really hampered down on our performance. And then no DJ Reader means Kansas City Chiefs just ran the ball on us a ton. 18 for 130 for Pachenko. And memes started about his hard running on the field. Yeah, people saying that he runs like he bites people, which I totally agree with. I think it's funny. But Mahomes played pretty well, 21 for 29 for 245, a touchdown, no picks, 2 sacks, 109.1 rating. I mean, Bengals were eliminated. They were only going to make the playoffs 53% if they won this game. So what are you going to do? Another injury season for Joe Burrow. I really just hope that this big contract Burrow took doesn't screw the team over because I feel like it could just be Joe Burrow and nobody because of how much money he took.
How much are they paying him per year with this contract?
55.
Something like 55 a year. Fuck.
We have $8 million coming up in cap next year.
Eesh.
And we need to sign guys like Reader and Awuzie and Higgins and Boyd, Irwin and Williams.
I think we both know, but you're not going to be signing them all back,
Yeah.
especially with only $8 million left.
Sad thing is, though, just the Joe Burrow an injury in the beginning probably hurts you, and then now out.
Or you
for the
pull
past-
what the Dodgers did with Otani and make it like $2 million a year, and then like the bulk of it comes in like at the very end of the contract year.
Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do. It does not look. Duke Tobin needs to do something crazy. And anyway, final game of the week. High five, honey. Packers won. There we go.
Hey,
33-10, the final score. If I would have gotten 25 fantasy points from Justin Jefferson, I would have won the fantasy league. But the quarterback was
It was
Jaron
not so.
Hall, followed by Nick Mullins. Ugh. The Packers had there's 2 starting cornerbacks. And again, those are your 2 starters. You could come out in dime, which would put another 4 out there. All right? 4 or 5. Their 2 starting quarterbacks were those 7th round draft picks. And Justin Jefferson only had 5 for 59 on 10 targets. Jordan Love looked very good. 24 for 33 for 256, 7.8 average, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 125.3 rating. Aaron Jones, 20 for 120 on the ground. Bo Melton, 6 for 105 and a touchdown. Nobody looked impressive on the Vikings side. Nobody. Vikings are
nobody knows how shit we are.
the Vikings are a sinking ship.
Most-
Pun intended. It's bad. I think Jordan Love, some people are already starting to talk about how, he can't keep getting away with this. The Packers going from Favre to Rodgers to now Love is starting to look better and better as the season goes on. Again, his big test will come. Can you continue to have the ownership of the Bears in your name. It was passed from Favre to Rodgers, who really put on that ownership, and he's handing you the pink slip. You're going to sign it, or are you going to do something different with it? Because there's already talk with this game coming up. Justin Fields came out and said that people cheer so loud at Packers games because there's nothing else to do in Green Bay. Like, Justin Fields is going to get something thrown at him that game. I don't condone it by any means, but like, you don't go after Packers fans, man. That is a death sentence, dude.
Yeah. Wisconsin has the most metal thing.
Nothing. Yeah, it's.
Sorry, I was watching the Metalocalypse new movie yesterday.
Yeah, hats
I
off
haven't
to
seen
you.
it yet.
Hats off.
It's pretty good.
Shit. Hats off to you, Gorlami. Your team got a win, a good win, and you win and you get in with the Bears
Week
game.
18.
Yep. All right. So now let's get into the craziness that is the playoff picture. So we will quickly get this out of the way. Eliminated teams: Broncos, Bengals, Raiders, Jets, Titans, Chargers, Patriots from the AFC, NFC, Giants, Commanders, Cardinals, Panthers. Yes.
And Bears.
And
Bears are eliminated.
The Falcons could still make the playoffs somehow. Ugh.
It would take a Herculean effort and a lot of
Yes,
things. for them to
Herculean
do that.
effort.
They're most
the,
likely not going to make it.
the Ravens have clinched the division and the number 1 overall seed. The Dolphins have clinched a playoff spot. Now, they play the Bills. If the Dolphins win, the Dolphins clinch the number 2 spot. If the Bills win, the Bills would be able to clinch the number 2 spot, and the Dolphins would move back to a wild card spot. The other thing is, if the Bills lose, and then I believe...
No. If the Bills lose, they're out.
Yeah, this is a win and in thing for the Bills right now.
I know, I believe if they lose, and then the
Nope,
Steelers...
because
and the Steelers lose, then they're still in. Because if the Steelers lose, they're 9-8. The Houston Texans or the Colts are interchangeable. They're the same. And then the Bills would still be in it at just a spot below.
No, because
but no
Wait,
matter what,
wait.
the Bills will be out no matter what if they lose. Because if Jacksonville loses and the Colts, and then it's whoever Colts and Texans win gets a division, and then it swaps between that, because Jacksonville, Colts, and Texans still has a chance for playoff, either wild card or division.
yeah, it would kick the Bills out.
Yep.
Colts would
If
take
the
the
Bills
4
lose.
seed, Jacksonville 6, and Houston would move up to 7.
Saw a post on this on CBS Sports. I'm trying to find it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they missed the playoffs with, if they lose to Miami, Pittsburgh wins against Baltimore, and the Jaguars win against Tennessee, then they don't make the playoffs. They get the number 2 seed if they beat the Dolphins. So they can still make the playoffs if they lose the Dolphins, however, but the Steelers lose to the Ravens, and then the Jaguars lose to the Titans. They'll still be in the playoffs. Kansas City, they've clinched their division. They'll sit at the 3 seed. I do not think... Will they move to the 4 seed if Jacksonville wins? I don't believe so, and they lose.
I don't know.
No, if Jacksonville wins, they get the division, no matter what.
Right, but 3 and 4 seed, I don't know what the tiebreaker is for them. Yeah, so anyway, but then the big thing comes down to the NFC South. NFC South, if, again, it all depends. Indianapolis and Houston, you win, you get in. If Jacksonville loses, then Indianapolis or Texans, whoever wins that game, will be in the driver's seat of the AFC South and get a home playoff game in the 4 seed. The Steelers can get in. They're looking on the outside right now. Once one of these 2 AFC South teams loses, they'll be bumped out. The Steelers will move up. And then they're just hoping for the Bills to also lose and for them to win, and the Steelers will get in. Moving on to the NFC, the Bucs will get in if they win against the Carolina Panthers and they'll win their division. Obviously, San Francisco has locked up the number 1 seed. The Cowboys have locked up their playoff berth. They have not clinched the division yet. Who do they play?
Dallas has to lose. They play Washington. If Dallas wins, Dallas gets the division. If they lose and Eagles win, Eagles get the division.
Right. Lions have obviously locked up the NFC North, which means Mamba has to drink Malort out of a shoe. As I said, the Buccaneer win, they'll get in. If the Packers win against the Bears, they will get a wild card spot. The Rams, they are guaranteed a wild card spot no matter what happens. And then everything else from there is depending. The Falcons can only make the playoffs if Tampa Bay loses and New Orleans loses. If that happens, then they are able to get in. The Vikings would have to win, and almost everybody above them would have to lose for them to get in. The most likely situation that happens is Tampa Bay is probably going to beat Carolina. They're in. Dallas or Philly is in that spot. The Rams are locking up a wild card spot. Leaves one spot left. That means either the Saints, Seahawks, or Packers most likely will take that spot. I think it'll be the Packers. They'll probably beat the Bears. They'll get the 7th spot, and that'll call it a wrap for the playoff picture. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and do scores, the tier lists, and then we'll do the We'll do the Pro Bowl players, and then we'll move on into our predictions.
Tank Bowl or
Yeah, the tier list, Tank Bowl. It's just the tier list now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mamba, who's your MVP of the week?
Ooh, yes. Hold on. I gotta look at this real quick. Oh,
CD Lamb had a good week. Lamar Jackson. Well, actually, Zay Flowers more, I'd say.
well, actually, yeah. Let
BD,
me go with
honestly.
Zay Flowers. Actually, Zay
Really?
Flowers is pretty good. Yeah.
Boston
All right.
College boy, yeah, baby.
Over 226 yards from CD Lamb. All right.
yeah.
I mean, fuck the Cowboys.
Anyway,
True.
with that, let's go ahead and move it on to the Tank Bowl.
Oh yeah, we forgot you were off this week, so we didn't fuck around with it a little too. We didn't fuck around with it too much. But...
Yeah. Can we put Eagles honorable mentions for losing to the Cardinals?
Yes,
Sure.
let's.
Thank you. I want to change that much of oh goddamn. Worst is still Carolina. Washington and Giants could be interchangeable. Patriots kind of stay the same. It's actually now it's actually staying almost the same. NFC South is still saying NFC South because fuck that division. Tennessee's still an honorable mention at least. So is the Jets. I'm trying to think any other. No, because Baltimore is destroying.
Well, they are taking a bit of a slide.
Slide, yeah. But they have a better record than the Broncos.
Yeah.
Like
That
that's the
stays the
thing. There's
same.
like it kind of stays the same just because, except for the Eagles going to honorable mention because fuck that game. I can't think of anybody else because I would say Bears maybe close to honorable mention, but even then they're looking better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking better. I don't think they've ever been in this. They should never be here
They
now.
were-
They were at the beginning of the
No,
year, but
not
now
now.
they look a lot better.
Yeah, now they look a lot better. I would say maybe take Broncos out of honorable mention and just leave everybody else in honorable mention.
All right. There you go. And then the mystery tier list of this week. Boom.
I have to remember
Assassin's
some-
Creed trilogies.
So
okay.
Series, I guess.
some,
Not trilogies.
some of
series.
them I have not played.
I've played a good bunch of them. I think the last one I played was Origins, not whichever one was the one in Egypt. Odyssey. No,
That's Origins. Odyssey
oh,
was
no, I had
Greece.
Origins. Yeah, right. Odyssey was Greece.
So Odyssey and Origins I never played.
Oranges. Okay.
Or Origins. Fuck this beer. I never played Syndicate.
Oh,
or
Syndicate was actually kind of
Unity.
fun.
Or Unity. I was in college at the time, so I don't think I had that much time. S tier, Assassin's Creed 2.
Assassin's Creed.
Agreed. Assassin's Creed 2.
There
That
it
would
is.
be yep.
Yep.
The first
A
with
tier.
Ezio.
A tier, I had to put at Assassin's Creed 1 just because that for me
OG,
that just
the
like
OG,
kind of
yeah.
set
Ooh,
the,
that's.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the OG, but it's kind of meh compared to the rest of the series.
I think about it in its time,
Yeah.
though. In its time.
In its time, yeah. Black Flag, I think
Please say S tier.
was
Please say S tier.
Please say S tier.
Good, I'm not the only one.
B.
Oh
Bro.
my god, dude.
What the fuck?
That is such a good game.
I don't know. Like there was just some stuff
I have the Edward Kenway pre-order statue just staring down disapprovingly at me from my shelf right now.
I put gameplay for a lot of games. I put gameplay ahead of story.
Well,
And-
then
and?
Black Flag should be S tier. What are you talking about? Oh my
There
god.
was some stuff I did not like about. I don't know. I'm still trying to remember because this was
the fact
about
that
10
Kenway was an
10
asshole.
years
He's a pirate. Yes, of course he's an asshole.
No, I'm not going by that. Like I said, it's gameplay, not plus also this was almost 10 years ago, dude, for me playing it. Assassin's Creed 3, I put it tier also because I think Black Flags and 3 was kind of the same. What's
with
the
3, that's
rest?
fair.
A Rogue I never played.
Rogue was okay story wise. It's I feel like
the other one? Oh, was there one that was
Brotherhood.
Valhalla? Never played that one. Brotherhood? No, I never played that one. Oh, what's that one?
Assassin's Creed.
That was like a weird that was like a weird PSP version that they put out alongside Assassin's Creed 3.
I never had a PSP.
And then Revelations.
So. It was you followed a Cajun female assassin that was like in New Orleans.
Wait, it was Revelations the one in
it was the one we went. No, Revelations was the last one, the Ezio trilogy, where you go to Constantinople.
I never played that one. Why didn't they have Valhalla on here? Yeah, they don't have Valhalla on here.
Where would you put Valhalla?
Either A or B.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, K-Duff, how would you rank this since you've played all of them?
Let's see. Well, I'd probably put Black Flag at S, obviously. Keep 2 there. I'd move Assassin's Creed 1. I'd probably move that to like honestly C tier, I guess. Like because the story was fine and it was a good precedent series, but the immersion was ruined because you had Altair have an American accent 600 years before America was invented. Speaking of the invention of America, I'd keep Assassin's Creed 3 at B tier. Revelations also at B tier. Because that was actually kind of an interesting story and a good finale to, not great, but good finale for the Ezio trilogy. I did not play the one with the Cajun assassin that was like set out alongside Assassin's Creed 3. Let's see, Black Flag. Syndicate, I would probably put it A tier because that was actually kind of a fun one. Unity, yes, it had its issues with like graphical things at launch, but I honestly had fun with it, so I'd put that at B between Revelations and 3. Rogue, I didn't play it, but story-wise, it was good. Brotherhood, I also didn't play it. Story-wise, I remember it being good. Origins, A tier. A tier. No, A tier. And
A tier. Whoops.
Yeah, and Odyssey. Honestly, I'd put D tier for Odyssey. I did not really have it. It's kind of when I started falling off it because it started feeling more like almost like shitty Mass Effect-ish adventure game more than an Assassin's Creed game to me.
Then where would you put Valhalla?
Valhalla probably also D tier.
Yeah, new ones have not been good. All right.
If you want something better tier list, give me Warhammer Factions.
I haven't played the new one yet that came out late last year but I've been hearing okay things about it. I forget the name of it. It's like Mirage. No,
Pharaoh's,
Mirage. That's it.
No, Pharaoh's Total War.
No, there was one about Egypt.
That's Origins.
No, wait, was it? Yeah, that is Origins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. With
as I said, if you want a better tier list, if you want a better tier list, go with Warhammer Factions. I'll do 40K. I'll do fantasy.
The best thing is that when you don't know what's coming, though.
The one that came out for Assassin's Creed last year, I think that one like takes place like about 100 years after Altair's time, still set in the Middle East. It looks interesting. It looks like more of a return back to the new one.
Yep. All right. Entering
Jesus fucking Christ.
I guess this is our final week because we also predict the playoffs, but entering the final week of the regular season, Mamba's 203.98 in first place, then Gurlami 202 and 96, then KDF 197 101, me 192 and 109, and then Maston 188 and 106. This week's going to be tough because a lot of teams are resting their players. So Steelers Ravens, first one up. I think the Ravens will win because it's Mike Tomlin always finishes 9-8. It's not 10-7. It's 9-8. So I'll take the Ravens by 3 in that one.
I mean, they're resting Lamar, so I'm gonna take Steelers by 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh by 1.
Hey, they have a Pro Bowler
Just
at the
because
backup
they're
spot, Tyler Huntley.
It's true.
Oh my god.
Yeah, even with a lot of their starters resting, I feel like the Ravens are still going to pull it out. Ravens by 3.
All right, Texans and Colts next up. Give me the Texans in this win or win and get in game. I'll take them by 10.
It's winner get in. Yeah, the Texans by 3.
I'm gonna say Houston by 5.
Texans by 7.
All right, Browns Bengals next one up. Browns are resting Joe Flacco. They have no hope. Bengals by 21.
They're resting the Flacco man.
Oh, yeah, they're putting in
different about Joe Flacco, dude.
They're putting
can't
in
put my
Jeff
mind on
Driscoll. I don't know how
Um,
long it's been since you heard that name.
Bengals
Anybody?
by. Actually, wait, who's quarterbacking Browns right now?
Jeff Driscoll.
it.
Okay, yeah, Bengals by
Exactly.
10.
I gotta need a win here. Cleveland by 3 because of defense.
I'll mirror that actually. Browns
Cleveland
by 3. Yeah. Should still win out.
All right, Vikings Lions. Vikings have no one at quarterback. Even the Lions are resting. I think the Lions will still win the game. I'll take them by 5.
Oh, they're gonna be real pissed after that Cowboys game. So yeah, give me the Lions by 7.
I think Detroit's resting their starters because Detroit has the 3 seed locked up no matter what. And their defense has been iffy. Minnesota by 2.
It'll be the safe thing to do, but Campbell's not going to take a week off of making sure they're eating kneecaps all the way to the finish line. Give me the Lions by 10.
Next, Jaguars Titans. I don't think the Titans are going to let the Jaguars get off easy, but at the same time, it's the Titans. I'll take the Jaguars in a close one by 1.
Give me Jags by 9.
Jacksonville by 11 because Ryan over the hill can't do anything.
Yeah, Jacksonville by 9.
All right, Jets Patriots.
Tank ball.
Pretty much.
Jets by 3 because of the defense.
Hold on. Come on. We're trying to get my sister's dog out here. Come on, you gotta go to sleep. All right. Give me Pats by 7.
Jets by 1.
I mean, the last time we played them, it was an utter shit fest.
It's always a shit fest.
It always is. Give me Patriots by 3.
In Zappy, we trust.
I mean, I don't trust, but I don't want to root for the Jets. Are you fucking kidding me?
Falcons Saints. I think the Saints will win this one. They just have a better roster, more secure quarterback. They'll win it by 5.
Yeah. I mean, Saints by 7.
Saints by 5.
Arthur, you and your Falcons have been hanging on way too long. Saints by 14.
All right, Buccaneers and Panthers. Excuse me. I don't think the Panthers are going to be able to pull it off against the Buccaneers. It's the Buccaneers win and get in, so I'll take them by 10.
Yeah, Buccaneers by 14.
Tampa Bay by 8.
Buccaneers by 13.
All right, Bears and Packers. This is in Lambeau Field. The comments that Justin Fields made sealed your case. Panthers by 21. Or Packers by 21. Packers by 21.
Sorry. I mean, this is pretty obvious. The Bears have the better offense and the better defense. So give me the Bears by 10.
Okay, I have to admit the defense has been better for the Bears. They're better than Joe Barry defense. You gotta admit
Fair enough.
right now. Chicago by 2, just because I want chaos. I want the memes.
I'm gonna say Packers by 10, and I'm gonna parlay that into Justin Fields gets a bottle thrown at his head.
God.
Why would you parlay that?
I mean, we were joking about it. I might as well just make it official.
Broncos, Raiders. Raiders by O'Connell just looks better in my opinion than anyone the Broncos are going to play. So Raiders by 3.
Bronco. Wait. Yeah, the Raiders. Let's go Raiders by 10.
I'm gonna go Raiders by 8.
Broncos country, straight to the glue factory with you. Raiders by 10.
Clue factory.
All right, Eagles, Giants next up. As much as I want Matson to buy Sidney Crosby jersey, I'm not going to kid myself. The Eagles aren't going to be able to lock in. I think here that escape room really helped them, so they'll escape the Meadowlands with a win here. I'll give the Eagles the victory by 7.
Is Hurts playing?
Yes.
We said if Tommy DeVito beats the Eagles, not if the Giants beat the Eagles.
True.
True.
Eagles by 14.
Eagles by 3 because they're gonna somehow fuck it up where they have to go last minute bullshit.
Yeah, that map. Yeah, my boy Matt Patricia has been really screwing you guys over lately. That being said, you guys could treat this game like a practice scrum and still beat the Giants by 10 points.
All right, Seahawks, Cardinals. Seahawks got to win to get in. The Cardinals don't really have a reason to win. However, they didn't really have a reason to win against the Eagles. So this will be close. I'll take the Seahawks by 1.
We'll go Seahawks by 3.
Seattle by 5.
Seahawks by 7.
Chiefs, Chargers. The Chiefs are starting Blaine Gabbert, who was almost a Super Bowl quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. For that simple reason, I'm taking the Chiefs by 7.
Yeah, Chiefs by 10.
Chiefs by 11.
The fucking Chargers, guys. Chiefs by 21.
I mean, they're not playing their starters, so I don't think it'll be as good. Also, like Mahomes.
You think it matters? It's the Chargers.
Well, I mean,
Hey, the
Chiefs have
receiver's
managed-
probably gonna catch.
I don't know. Rams and 49ers. I'll take the blind man in the bar with a 12-gauge shotgun with 3,000
Oh my
shells
God.
by 10. You can't lead a horse to water if it's glued to the tarmac.
I was trying
There
to
it
think,
is, there.
wait a minute, who's that's okay, it's the Rams you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if Niners are resting everyone, give me the Rams by 7.
Rams by 1?
Just turning into Minecraft villager here.
Arr.
Rams by 3.
Cowboys, Commanders. Cowboys want to win in order to secure the division. I think they will. They're going to win by 10 here.
Cowboys by 35.
Damn.
Cowboys by 22. Fuck Cowboys. Got meh.
And they play spoiler a little bit, so how about them Commanders by 3?
Whoa.
You're really trusting checked out Ron Rivera.
Sam Howell.
I mean,
Sam
I feel like
Howell,
they're gonna
chicken
screw
tender
shit up.
man.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna rest
All right.
people. They're gonna
An
screw some plays up.
amazing. The
Both
final
McCarthy.
game of the NFL regular season is a big time game. Bills need to win, and they will get the 2 seed. If the Dolphins win, they will secure the 2 seed. The Dolphins have made the playoffs. However, I don't think they'll just give up the AFC East that easily. So I think they will actually play. And I've learned my lesson long enough from Muzzy flaming us for not picking the Bills. I'm taking the Bills in this one by 5. 3, sorry. We'll take it by 3 in overtime. NFL season's going to end with a bang.
I mean, they're playing in Florida, so I'm going to take the Dolphins by 7.
This is nothing against the Bills, mainly injuries, but I think Miami, that offense is still good. Miami by 2.
Yeah, I think it's also gonna be a close one, but I mean, it's the Dolphins, and the Bills have been pretty iffy this year. Sorry, Muzzy, but Dolphins by 5.
Alrighty. Let me go ahead and pull up the Pro Bowl rosters. Just quickly
Do
talk
that,
over
I got
those.
because beer goes through me.
I haven't seen a lot of this. I do know that there's like a shit ton of 49ers players that made it in, but they left out Ayuk. And that like Buda Baker made it in, but Antoine Winfield didn't.
Yeah, kind of rough.
Yeah.
So we'll start
Period.
with the NFC quarterback, Purdy, Prescott, and Stafford. I don't think really anybody left out as much there. Stafford looks very good right now. Running back, obviously Christian McCaffrey. DeAndre Swift, interesting one there. You really can't take either of the Lions running backs because they're a two-headed monster, and then Kieran Williams.
Yep. And as a fullback, Kyle Juszczyk.
What else is new? Juice is in. Wide receiver, obviously CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Mike Evans has looked great, and Puka Nacua getting in there. Great job by a rookie
Evans
there.
was a sleeper for me in fantasy this year. He definitely deserves to make it in. Tight ends, I got George Kittle, Sam Laporta. Both had great years.
Especially
What
Laporta.
else we said there? Yeah.
Laporta is challenging CJ Stroud for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Then on the tackle,
Or
Trent Williams.
Puka
Who else
Nacua.
but Trent Williams and Lane Johnson? Seriously.
Yep. Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, and also Penny Sewell from the Detroit Lions, who's shaping up to be one of the better tackles in the league. Guards, Zach Martin, who down just got hurt. Probably will see someone fill in there. Chris Lindstrom of the Falcons and Landon Dickerson of the Eagles. I could see as far as guards coming in. Where's shoot. Why am I blanking?
What team?
This is blanking. Whatever. Kelsey and Frank Ragnow for center. Two good picks there.
Yep.
Defense. Nick Bosa, obviously defensive player of the year favorite at this point. Montez Sweat of the Bears, leading both teams in sacks that he played for this year. He leads the Washington Commanders in sacks and the Bears in sacks. That's disgusting. Aiden Hutchinson of the Detroit Lions as well. Interior linemen, Aaron Donald, nothing much said. Sexy Dexy Lawrence and Javon Hargrave. Outside linebackers, Micah Parsons, Jalen Hunter, and Hassan Reddick. The inside, Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner. Cornerback, Deron Blanche, Davis Ward, Jalen Johnson, and Devin Witherspoon. I would love to see AJ Terrell there, but the Falcons suck.
Safeties.
Free
Jesse
safety,
Bates,
Jesse
Buda Baker,
Bates.
and Julian Love.
Yeah, Jesse Bates looked pretty good. Strong safety, Buda Baker and Julian Love.
Baker, I don't know how he made it in. He had nothing. He did nothing this year, and he made it in over guys like Antoine Winfield.
Long snapper, Andrew De La Porta, okay. Punter, Brian Agner of the Cowboys, yes, very good. Place kicker, Brandon Aubrey of the Cowboys, well deserved. Kick returner, Rashid Shaheed of the Saints, yep. And special teamer, Jalen Reeves Maybin of the Lions. No idea.
Yep. Going into the AFC. This is just the the NFC roster is revealed.
Yep.
There we go.
AFC. So quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Running back, Raheem Mostert, James Cook, and Derrick Henry. I'm surprised James Cook got on the list, but also one of their AFC
he's had a
running
pretty
backs.
decent year. Henry, I'm kind of surprised made it in.
They go with recency bias for some of this.
But not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's looked awful. I'm surprised he got
I know. I said some.
And the Dolphins, they also definitely what's the word I'm looking for here? They kind of
Double
looked
dip?
over. No. Yes, they double dip, but I was gonna say they kind of looked over Devon A-Chain.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Put
They
Alec
could have double
Ingold in.
dipped. Take Henry out, put Chan in, have Mostert and
I was
Chan.
thinking Mostert, Cook, and Brees Hall over Derrick Henry.
That's another one that would have worked.
Brees Hall, it was iffy just because the O-line sucked for the Jets.
Yeah. Alec Ingold gets the nod over the other good fullback in the AFC, which is Ham, who plays on the Ravens. Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase. Can't really go wrong there. Big name guys. Tight ends, Travis
Who else
Kelce,
but Travis Kelsey and David Njoku?
David Njoku. Yep.
Ooh, Travis Kelsey has been having it really
Yeah,
good here.
I don't like that. I think Njoku should start
Yeah.
over him. And honestly, I think there's enough case for
Not Kincaid.
Knox?
Dawson Knox. Yes,
There you go. There you
Dawson Knox to be over Travis Kelsey. Njoku should start, and Dawson Knox should be in over Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey should not be in the Pro Bowl. The only reason they're doing it is because Taylor Swift to show up. Tackle,
Exactly.
Larney Tunsil, the Texans. Great pickup by them. Deion Dawkins of the Bills, and turn opposite of the Dolphins. Guard, Quentin Nelson, the best guard in football right now. Joel Patino and Joe Tooney. Centers, Creed Humphrey and Tyler Lindenbaum. Both really good guys there. Defense,
go.
Miles
I wanted
Garrett.
Linderbaum on the Eagles.
Yeah. Defense, Miles Garrett, Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson. Good pickups there. Trey Hendrickson actually tied for the league in sacks right now. Interior lineman, Chris Jones, Quinn Williams, and Justin Malbuk of the Ravens. I think if DJ Reader was healthy, he'd be in here over Malbuk of the Ravens. Outside linebackers, Watt, Khalil Mack, and Josh Allen. Don't agree with the Khalil Mack pick here. I think Watt and Allen deserve to be. But also at the same time, I'm struggling to think of other outside linebackers that would be good in this position over
I would have
Mack.
say Matt Judon if he wasn't hurt, but he would have had a good year.
Yeah.
Also, Mack did have that one game where he had like 8 sacks or something. So, interior
Yeah, that's the
linemen,
outlier.
interior middle linebackers, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen.
Both of the
Best-
Ravens.
Yeah, they both have the best middle linebacker core in the AFC. Quarterback, Pat Sertan, Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey, Denzel Ward. Free safety, Justin Simmons and Minka Fitzpatrick. Strong safety, Kyle Hamilton. Special teams, Ross Matchick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Punter, AJ Cole of the Raiders. Haven't seen a lot of his punts, but I guess he's doing pretty well. Obviously, place kicker, Justin Tucker. Kick returner, Marvin Mims. And special teamer, Miles Kilbrew. Those are your
Single
Pro
Patriot,
Bowl
my God.
rosters. Yeah.
I mean, I think at least Joe Cardona would have made it in as a long snapper, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah. I don't know how they choose long snappers. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Any questions on last week's video?
Oh shit, let me pull that up and see.
The last time we have to check, and then we are out of here. My Jordan flu game magic is running out. Oh,
So you're having the Patrick Mahomes
Nope.
flu game.
nope, no question.
Yeah.
All right. So, big week in football. Hopefully, you won your fantasy football league and didn't end up like Kate up here chugging a bunch of random alcohol. But
Kill
thank
I'm
you.
so sorry, dude.
Thank
Honestly,
you for,
it didn't hit me as hard as I thought it would. So, at least
Thank you
here's
for
that.
attending the Football Stooges. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like the video and follow us that we can stay up to date with our weekly episodes coming to you every Friday. But for myself, for Maston, for Mamba, and for K-Duff, thank you for watching the show. And as always, run the damn ball. Have a good night. And go blue. We're winning it all this year. Let's go.